Good evening, welcome to Scarborough Fans TV. I've got a special guest for you tonight. Chris Kirkland's with us tonight with a panel. We've got no Miles, we've got no Jack, but we have got a full panel to discuss and talk about Chris Kirkland's career and his book, which has recently just come out. Here it is here. We've got a signed copy to give away. We'll give you that question in just a moment. We're also going to talk about the Middlesbrough game, obviously, in the second half of the programme. So, big game coming up, obviously, tomorrow night. That's going to be discussed in the second half. But first half, it's all about Chris Kirkland. We're going to talk about his career and what he's doing now and stuff like that. So let's bring in Claudio. Good evening, Claudio.
Good evening, Ken. How are you doing?
Not too bad, mate. Thank you very much. Good evening, Vic.
Oh, bit of Vicky in.
Good evening, guys. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad, Vic. Thank you very much. And we've got our special guest, Chris Kirkland. Good evening, Chris. He's got his...
He's looking away. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Chris. Can he hear us? No, he can't hear us. It's great when it's live. Good evening, Chris.
Can you see me?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
We're waiting for you.
We are now live, so no swearing, please. You all right, yeah?
You can't hear us anymore, can I?
Hopefully you can hear us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
can
we can hear you.
hear us?
Yeah, I've got you. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There's a little bit of a delay there, but we're all there now, I think. So yeah, Chris is our special guest.
Can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything.
Did you want to log out and log back in again?
That's weird. You could hear backstage, couldn't they?
Yeah, can you not hear nothing? No.
I can only hear one I can only hear one person.
Oh, can you? Who can you hear? Me?
No.
Oh.
Oh, it's interesting. Can you hear me?
No.
No.
Oh, it's me. You want to try logging out and logging back in, Chris?
Yeah, try
okay,
logging back out and coming back in, and then we'll get you back on. All right. Okay. While Chris is sorting out his internet or whatever the issue is, there's obviously a sound problem there. We're going to discuss. Obviously, you got any questions for Chris? By the way, get them in on the comments, and we'll come to the comments and we'll try and ask Chris the question if it hasn't already been asked. So we may have already asked it, but maybe not. But anyway, we're going to. Here he is. He's back in. Back in.
Try again.
There you go. Good evening, Chris.
Yeah, got you now.
Ah, that's it. We've got all loud and clear. That's technology. See, can't rely on it these days.
I'm not the best with tech.
No, not well. No, we really. I mean, it's all the youngsters who are good on the old tech, isn't it?
Speak for yourself.
Right. Right. We're going to talk about the Middlesbrough game, obviously, in the second half of the show. But Chris is our special guest tonight, and if you've got any questions for him, I say put them in the comments, and we'll try and get to them as the show goes on. So, Chris, tell us about the book and why have you decided now to do your book? Yeah,
I've been asked a couple of times before, and listen, I had a decent career. I was very proud of it, but there's a lot more better autobiographies out with me if it was just based on football. So. But obviously, with everything else that's happened with the mental health and the painkiller addiction, when they approached us about a year ago, it was something I wanted to do. I spoke with the family, and what it is it's a constant reminder to not go back to those days, and also to try and help other people, to tell them that, listen, no matter how bad things are and how bad things get, and they did get, to a point where I nearly wasn't here anymore, then you can fight back. So yeah, that's probably the biggest reason why I did it. And listen, it's got everything else in there as well with the football career. Obviously, starting at Coventry in the youth team and progressing to the first team. It's got loads of stories from those days as well. Something I'm very proud about, playing for Coventry City, and then everything else from the career and life and what I do now. So yeah, the feedback's been incredible from it, and come out in November. So we're sort of just still in the process of getting it out there and getting it to different people. So, but I'm really, really happy with it. Really proud of it.
Yeah, you sold a few copies. When I seen you the last game, the home game, you sold quite. We're doing quite.
We did, yeah. It's a tough one because I mean, listen, I'm old-fashioned. I like old-fashioned things, but a lot of people these days want it in audio or on Kindle or.
Yeah.
But it's hardback and it's we didn't go down the audio route. So I don't think people need to listen to me for 2 hours or whatever it would be on audio. So we went down that route, but it's gone great. Liverpool, I work most match days at Liverpool as a former player, Q&As, so it's going down really well in those lounges. Yeah, and obviously back down at the Rico in the fan zone, which I must say, the fan zone's incredible. At Coventry, I've never seen anything like that in my life. It was brilliant to be in there, and looking forward to coming back down on the 14th against Southampton as well.
Yeah, it's a great idea from Doug, especially being inside at the elements, in the winter.
It is, and with all the stuff you've got in there as well. There's so much entertainment for the kids. I mean, I joined in a couple of bits and bobs, but I mean, it's huge in there, and it's certainly one of the best that I've ever been in.
Yeah. What do you think about the present Coventry City team then? We're doing quite well at the minute. And how do you see Lampard? Obviously it's not his first job, but he's certainly been successful since he's come here, and the fans have took to him, and he's had a good time. Mark Robins was a fantastic manager for us. Make no mistake about that. But Lampard's coming in and done a fantastic job. What do you make? Because you played with Lampard, didn't you, on your England debut?
I did, yeah. I was in a lot of squads with Frank. It's weird because you look at some players and you'd think they'll never go into management because Frank was dead quiet, trained, sort of keep himself to himself, but he was just obsessed with training. But there's certain players you look at, I think there's no way they'll go into management. And most of the ones I didn't think would go into management have gone into management. So it just shows how much I know about it. But he speaks very well. He was always professional. I mean, he trained hard than most people. I think that's well known about Frank. Listen, he had an amazing start to season. Was close a couple of years ago. Well, as close as you can get a couple of years ago without actually going up. And the start of the season, brilliant. And listen, I know the last few games and the gap's obviously closed. It's a huge game tomorrow against Middlesbrough, but what they've got to say is now, because these things happen, what they've done is they give themselves enough of a gap to have a slip up. But in the Championship, you can win 8 or 9 on the spin, or you can't win for 8 or 9. That's just the Championship. So what they've got to say to themselves now is, as disappointed they'll be, say, listen, you'd have took this at the start of the season to be mid-February and join top of the league, or in the top 3, they'd have took it, and they've just got to go again. They've got to forget what's happened the last few games, or I know the run's been made a lot of, but they've just got to regroup and go again, because they've got themselves one hell of an opportunity to make history and to be legends forever at that club. Yeah,
I mean, a lot of the youngsters obviously haven't seen them play in the Premier League. Now you were involved, going back to that time. You were involved in that game, that fateful game, weren't you, in 2001 at Villa Park when we went down?
Yeah, it still hurts. Listen, it still hurts to this day. Listen, I'm not a Coventry fan. Everyone knows I'm a Liverpool fan, but you always have an affection, especially for your first club, your first professional club. And Coventry were amazing with me, and the fans were brilliant. Come through the youth team, come through the ranks. Lived at the Sky Blue Lodge, cleaned Dion's boots, cleaned Gary McAllister's car. So it still to this day, it hurts thinking about that day. And it was a double whammy because it was at Villa Park and against one of your rivals. But yeah, it was I remember me and John Eustace talk about it quite a lot. Who's doing amazing at
Derby,
amazing at Derby. He was always going to go on and be a top manager, and he's proving that as well. But we talk about that day still, and how much it hurts, and still does to this day. It's something you never get over. If you care, listen. Some players are not bothered, and some players will move on, and they're not bothered at all. But it's something to this day that's still really, really sore when you think about what happened. Because you think you should do better. You blame yourself. You blame you know, you should have won the game before, or you know, but it is what it is, and unfortunately, you know, they've never recovered from that, and that's another thing as well. You know, seeing obviously times are better now, and hopefully they'll go back up to the Premier League. But you know, it's been 25 years of real hurt and pain for Coventry fans and the club, and what they've been through the last few years is just, you know, I can only imagine how much that's hurt the city of Coventry. But they are bouncing back, and Frank's doing an amazing job at trying to make that dream come true again.
Yeah, as you say, it's 25 years, of 26 years nearly now. So since we've been back in the top flight. Gordon Strachan was the manager then. Were you surprised that Gordon wasn't given enough time to get the team back? Because he was sacked not long after that, wasn't he? When we got relegated.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know what went on behind or whatever. If you know, if he stepped away or mutual agreement, I'm not sure. But listen, he was brilliant. He was scared the living daylights out of you. He was only 5 foot. But
he was a fantastic player as well, wasn't he?
Oh man, I mean, he played till he was 42, didn't he? In the Premier League.
Yeah.
But he used to join in training. He used to do every pre-season. He was the fittest there. He was still the best player. But yeah, he looked after us. So did Jim Blythe. Jim Blythe, the goalie coach. He was great with me. Oggy, you know, everyone knows what I feel about Oggy. So I was around some amazing people, and Gordon and his staff, Trevor Peake, you know, George Mackey, you know, all the coaching staff at Coventry. I was very lucky as an early age because I was around some brilliant people. Harry Roberts, who was the youth team manager, who does match days now. Looking forward to seeing him again as well. Yeah. But yeah, Gordon was, you know, he was fair. If you needed a clip round the ear, he'd give it you, but he'd do it in the right way. So yeah, it was. I've not seen him for a while, but whenever I do bump into him, it's always great to see him. Still
lives pretty local, I believe, in Leamington. So
he's got his academy, isn't he? So he's got his. I think he still does it. Yeah, and I know Lee Carsley, who I'll speak to, who's done amazing stuff as well. He still goes down and coaches at his academy as well.
Do you still keep in contact with a lot of the ex-Cov players you played with, or do you don't see many of them?
No, it's you play with that many players, but when you see each other, even if it's been 5-10 years, it's like you've never been apart. So obviously, I still speak to Eustace a lot. Been to see him at training, and particularly when he's at Blackburn, because that's not far from us. Still message Lee Carsley and have conversations with him as well. But yeah, when you catch up with these players, it's brilliant to see.
Yeah. Claudio, you got a question?
I've got 3, all keeper related, obviously. I'm presuming you wore those 3 tops that are hanging above my head. I don't know if you can see them. I'm sure they're the shirts you used to wear.
Yeah.
That's pure coincidence. I got those. I've borrowed them off Jim Brown from the archives.
Yeah, particularly the grey one.
Yeah. Now, when you signed as a professional, what was that like when the first time you walked into the changing room, knowing you're a professional, and you actually took the place of the current #1 keeper at the time for Sweden, didn't you, Magnus Hedman? So that must have been a proud moment for you.
Yeah, well, I signed I think I signed my first pro deal when I was 17, and I was training in around the first team, but I was still in the reserves dressing room. So even when I played for the first team, still stayed in the reserve dressing room, because you've got to earn that right to go in that changing room with all that, you know, the proper legends and stuff. But we had a brilliant one with Gavin Strachan, Barry Quinn, Marcus Hall. So we sort of Gavin Strachan. So we sort of kept ourselves in the other changing room. It was daunting though, you know, going into that. But I mean, all the first team were brilliant. If you went in, they'd give you a little bit of stick, and you know, say, "Oh, what are you doing here? You found the wrong dressing room and stuff like that," because that's what keeps you grounded. But yeah, signing the first pro, and then because things really went really quick from signing youth team to making, you know, I was 18, I think, when I made my debut for Cov. So 2 years, it went really fast.
You mentioned Jim Blythe. Jim Blythe was my favourite all-time keeper actually at Coventry. I used to love Jim Blythe. But of course, you mentioned Oggy, which is a legend of the club. What sort of a role did he play in your career then, in those early days?
Yeah, well, both of them did. Both of them were huge. I mean, Jim always, you know, if you felt tired one day or he had a bit of a sore leg or whatever, particularly sore arm, he'd say, "Yeah," he said, "I know how you feel." He said, "I played with 3 broken bones in my arm." He says, "Yeah, during the game, and then you're moaning about a sore arm and stuff." So, but Jim and Oggy worked brilliant together. Oggy was just the ultimate professional. He was the first in, last out. He used to go out every morning with the youth team and do crossing. He used to grab 4 or 5 of the youth team lads, and go out and do crossing and corners, and before anyone else come out, he was always in the gym after. So yeah, I took on his work ethic. I used to train with him at the Wrighterton Lodge on I think it was a Wednesday night for an hour and a half, and it was the best night of my week training with him when I was 14, 15 coming on to 16. And then I had the choice to sign for Leicester or Coventry at 16, the youth team. And even though I lived in Leicester and all my family were Leicester fans, I was always going to sign for Coventry because of that relationship I had with Oggy and the way he treated me. And then coming into the youth team and working with Jim and the other coaches along with Oggy. So I was lucky that I had some amazing people around us.
That season in 2001, I've heard Gordon Strachan talk about this, where he felt the recruitment for 18 months beforehand wasn't quite right. What do you put your finger on the reason why we got relegated that season? I know it's a while back now.
I can't remember what I did flipping yesterday, let alone 20 years ago. Listen, if you go over the course of a season, if you're relegated, you deserve to be relegated. You know, there's no hiding place after 38 games. If you're down there and you get relegated, then it's because you've not been good enough. Simple as that. And that might be down to a whole host of reasons. But the simple fact is, we did go down, and as I said, you don't go down by fluke, or you go down because you've not been good enough over the course of the season. I
did a 2-part interview with Brian Richardson on the Sky Blue History podcast that I do with Jim Brown, and he felt they should have got in John Hartson a lot quicker than they did, because they felt if it had come in sooner, that would have made a big difference. I don't know if you think the same.
When did he come in? Did he come in the January? Did he?
Yeah, just after, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, Arts was a brilliant player. As I said, I can't remember too much about the signings and who was bits and bobs there and stuff. But yeah, I mean, listen, if you could have had John from the start of any season, particularly when he was in his pomp, he was more than handful. I know he scored goals, obviously, when he did come in, and he was a massive focal point to the way we played. You know, everything went up to him. He held it. There weren't many defenders that could knock him off the ball, and he brought other players into play. So it was, like I said, the whole thing was still to this day, when I was going through the book as well, talking about Coventry, in the back of my mind when I started off with the youth team, I was thinking, the relegation bit's going to come in, and yeah, it was hard. It's still hard talking about it.
Now, you moved to Liverpool. You didn't actually play a lot of games for us in the first team. So I think to a lot of people, it was probably a surprise that you got the move to Liverpool. And it was a record. It was a record fee for a goalkeeper at the time. Is that right?
Oh yeah, it must have been mad.
Yeah,
I think it's about
20, then.
I think about 25, 26 games for Cov in the first team. But yeah, I think what helped is that I played well against Liverpool on those games, and Joe Corrigan he always said, and Phil Thompson, they said they wanted a young English goalkeeper at Liverpool, and I think because I was probably playing the best at the time, and I think I was definitely the youngest in the Premier League at that time, it sort of worked in my favour. And yeah, listen, I would not have left Coventry for anybody else. I'm a Liverpool fan. We used to get the bus up from Hinckley on the supporters bus up on occasions when my mum and dad could afford it, which wasn't very often, and I used to stand on the Kop as a kid. So there's only one club I'd have left Coventry for, because even though we'd just been relegated, I was desperate to try and get us back up. I was happy there. I was living half an hour from the training ground. I loved everything about the club, but there's talk of other clubs as well, and there was interest from other clubs. But when Liverpool come, as hard as it was, I mean, I remember I still was doubting the move. Not for the fact that I doubted my ability to go up to Liverpool. It was more leaving home. I didn't want to leave home, and also I didn't want to leave Coventry. And I was I spoke about it in the book, Gordon Strachan. I was at Highfield Road still involved with the youth team as well, and he knocked on the door, says, "Kirky, come out, Liverpool have bid for you. What do you want to do?" And he never put any pressure. He said, "Listen, if you don't want to go, you don't have to go." He says, "Yes, we've been relegated, and yes, I'm getting knocks on the door from the hierarchy saying, look, we need to raise money, But he said, if you tell me now you don't want to go, you don't have to go." He says, "But I think you'll be absolutely mad not to go to Liverpool." He says, "It's your club, you're good enough." And I was still nervous. And then Oggy, he went and got Oggy. Oggy was at the ground for something, and Oggy come in and just said, "What are you still doing here?" He says, he says, "You've got to go to Liverpool." He says, "You're a fan." He says, "Go and show them how good you are." And having that calmed me down a bit. Went up there, and yeah, it was whirlwind. It was on deadline day. I signed it 10-5 on deadline day. Come back because it was international weekend. Got all my stuff, and then moved up there on the Sunday night, and moved up to Liverpool, and we live up here ever since now.
I've got a question from somebody watching, but I want to link it to what I'm going to ask you now. You obviously went to Liverpool. I can imagine you were injury free while you were at Coventry, but then you broke into the first team at Liverpool and you had a series of injuries, didn't you? One after another. It just seemed to never end for you when you're doing so well. So Glenn has asked, I'll put it up on the screen. It's a good question, actually. Does Chris think that clubs should do more random drug testing to help identify players with issues, sleeping pills, painkillers, etc.?
Great question. Yeah, I think they are doing that. I know that tramadol's banned now, so that's been banned in football, and rightly so. But yeah, sleeping pills. Listen, it's well known sleeping pills are given out. I think it's changing now, but if you go back, 5-10 years, sleeping pills are handed out left, right, and centre. Anti-inflammatories are. So yeah, a lot more needs to be done to, and that comes down to responsibility of the clubs. People talk about the PFA and rules and stuff, but the clubs have got to put that in place, and I think they are starting to do that now. But my issues with painkillers never started until I was 30. So it's probably 32. Yeah, 31, 32 when I went to Sheffield Wednesday in 2012. Obviously, I took anti-inflams and you have painkilling injections here and there and stuff. But yeah, I think particularly strong painkillers, tramadol is banned now, but sleeping pills is a huge, huge problem. Obviously, Dele Alli's come out and said about him. Was it Omar Bogle as well? Was it a few weeks ago as well? So yeah, sleeping pills are big issues within sport, and painkillers are as well. But hopefully, it's starting to change a little bit now.
Is that because of people, sports people being so hyped up they just can't relax and they just can't sleep, and that's why they get addicted to it? Do you think?
Yeah, and then a lot of players, if they're living away from home and they're in hotels and they're struggling, and they want to get to sleep, or there's loads of if you Champions League games or what, if you're playing in Europe and you're flying back late at night and you're getting in at 2-3 in the morning and stuff like that. So there's a whole host of it, but the biggest thing is that you get addicted very quickly to them, very quickly. I got addicted to tramadol within 3-4 months. But by then it's you crave it and you need it, and if nobody knows about it, the addiction feeds off that, because it knows nobody knows about it, and it wants you to have more and more and more.
It's great that you're highlighting it. This is a question from Mark Rainbow. Even a quick question for Chris: what does he remember of the day he made his debut?
So I remember coming. It was at half time when I come on it. It was against Tranmere at half time. I think it was, when it at Highfield Road.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I think the Premier League debut was against Spurs, if I'm correct. Was that the 2-1 at Highfield Road?
Yes, I think it was. Without me getting me.
Right, yeah. So I remember. So I always remember that night against Tranmere, because my first action, a ball got booted up into the air, like the old-fashioned boot up in the air, and it had snow on it, and I've come out and took it about 16 yards out. And something I was always confident doing. I always, love coming for crosses. But I always say that it could have been so different. I've come out and took that ball and it's stuck, and then I think I've set a counter attack off. But I could have come out for that ball, dropped it, and Tranmere could have scored, and then I might have never played again for Coventry. Yeah. So the first piece of action always sticks in the mind, and luckily for me, it went really well.
Would you feel comfortable playing as goalkeepers play now, with the ball at the feet, bringing it out? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah. Yeah, I was always decent. Not I'm talking Edison or players like that, but I always, particularly at Wigan, I always used to do head tennis every morning. We used to play head tennis, which is brilliant for your footwork and your distribution. But yeah, I'd feel confident. I don't think I'd take as many risks or do any Cruyff turns or playing my own 6-yard line and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd be confident with the ball at my feet.
Mind you, I mean, you supported Liverpool, and Grobler was doing it way before anybody else, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, but I think you could get away with it a little bit more, back then. But now, I mean, it drives me. I think it's going back a little. Listen, the most important thing for a goalkeeper always has and always will be keeping the ball out of the net. Simple as that. And as soon as you go away, I think we did go away from that for a little bit, particularly with Edison, and we've seen. But I think it's starting to go back a little way back now. I don't think you see teams taking as many risks as they used to.
I've got Wayne Ghost got a question for you. As a former goalkeeper, Chris, how far would you say Rushworth can go, and could he achieve this playing for Coventry in today's game?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I obviously speak to Oggy. Oggy rates him very highly. I've only seen him a couple of times, but he looks calm. He looks You know, he's athletic, obviously, as well. I know the Cov fans love him. But yeah, Cov fans have had some real, you know, very good keepers down the years. But yeah, if he can, like I said, it's going to be a big ask for them to go up, but they put themselves in a brilliant position. And then listen, it's how you respond, and it's how you, if you go up to the Premier League, can you do it in the Premier League? You know, he can certainly do it in the Championship, and he's proved that. But the step up then to the Premier League, you've got to raise your game again, and that's where people will get found out if they're not to that level. But I mean, everything I've seen from him at the minute, you know, particularly in the Championship, he's certainly a very, very good goalkeeper.
This is from Assassins Unite. I remember the first time I saw Chris play for City in the FA Youth Cup final. He stood out as the top keeper against a generational West Ham team, including Joe Cole, Michael Carrick, and is it Richard Garcia, I think he's put there.
I remember that game, yeah. We lost 3-0 at Highfield Road. And then I was involved the next day. I was on the bench at Villa for the first team the next day. And then we got beat 6-0 at Upton Park. So yeah, West Ham we did unbelievably well to get to the Youth Cup final at Coventry. Mm-hmm. We had a good team, but we had a brilliant dressing room, brilliant set of lads. Something we always talk about. Seeing a few of them back at the last game, actually, Thomas Cudworth, who was in that youth team. Nick Egley was with me at the game on Saturday. He was in the youth team, and we talked about some of the stuff that we used to get up to. Roy Marie, who used to look after us at Sky Blue Lodge, I don't know how they did it. There was 20 lads, and you know, we was never abusing or swear, but we just played pranks all night long on people, and different rooms, and it was just. But yeah, that youth team with George Mackey and obviously Harry Roberts before that, we did brilliant getting to that final. But yeah, West Ham were just a few steps above us and better than us.
I know Roy Marie very well because I used to drink at my dad's pub in Bubbenhall, and I used to play for the football team, and Roy was the assistant manager with his big, thick Geordie accent. He used to give me hell all the time.
Oh, Roy! So when we were messing around, or when we were not in our rooms when we should be, all you used to hear was the downstairs door go, and then he used to bang his stick on the stairs coming up the stairs, and he in that Geordie accent, "You better be in your bedrooms by the time I get to the top of this stairs." And all you would hear then was like footsteps and doors shutting, like there'd be about 15 doors shut in 30 seconds. So yeah, they were brilliant. They were great with us. If we ever note that we did step out of line, but they were like our mum and dad, you know, and they looked after all of us.
He's an amazing character, and because I know he was at Murray Lodge, I think, before with the kids from the halfway house. And I think they moved to Brighton because the daughter was too young, and they said they needed to move away because obviously these lads had been in prison, just come out again. And then he went to Brighton, but he was absolutely brilliant.
I used to put
a real character.
He used to put you in an headlock if you were getting up to mischief. He used to put an arm around you if you were upset. And then Marie told him. I think Marie was the boss, so definitely.
Yeah, he used to call me a stupid eye-tie when you're allowed to say things like that.
A few more now as well.
I was never offended. I remember one game they took me off. I was really cheesed off, and I went into a rage. And he basically me and him were tussling. It was quite hilarious. And then you kiss and make up. You've probably seen that in the changing rooms, haven't you? Over the years, players having a bit of a tussle.
Yeah, you do. Listen, and things get out of hand at times. But yeah, I'm trying to think over time. I remember obviously when at Coventry with Craig Bellamy and Paul Williams. I remember that one. But yeah, there's been a few bits and bobs in different teams, but as quick as it starts, they die down pretty quick.
Could you feel as a player that Craig wasn't really a fan's favourite? Because obviously he replaced Robbie King. Could you feel that as part of a team that he wasn't liked?
I seen Bellas actually. So he was at the Liverpool game last week, I think it was. I can't remember which game it was, but I seen him in one of the lounges, and yeah, he was didn't say much too much to me, to be honest. But I had to pick him up. So when he signed for Cov, he stayed in the Hilton Hotel next to the showcase, and I used to come by that down the M69 from Burbage. And Gordon Strachan said to me, "He said, you come by the Hilton, don't you?" I went, "Yeah." He went, "Right, you're picking Craig Bellamy up every morning and dropping him off after training." And I was thinking, bloody hell. I was like 18, 19. Some mornings he got in the car and didn't even say morning. Like, he just got in the car, and then I'd drop him off at training. He'd get out of the car, and I'd be like, "Yeah, no problem, fellas, not a problem. I'll pick you up." But so some mornings he was chatty, other mornings he was a miserable bugger. But yeah, he was not everyone's cup of tea, but he was a good player. A very, very good player. But yeah, he wasn't. I think when he come, he was lively. He he got put down quite quickly by a few of the players because he was dead chirpy and spoke to some of the older players, like he'd been in the dressing room 20 years. So yeah, some of them liked him, some of them obviously told him to zip it at times.
Got a question here from David Beecroft. Hi, Chris. As a lifelong Coventry fan, but actually from Leicester, it hasn't always been an easy ride. What was your experience of playing for Cov whilst being from Leicester?
Always fine. I mean, obviously, I played at Filbert Street for Cov. I think we won 3-1, did we? I think we won 3-1, 3-2. That was difficult because I was getting proper abused by the Leicester fans behind the goal. My dad was in the Cov end. My dad went in the Cov end for that one. All my family were Leicester fans, but yeah, they were great. They understood that Coventry was the best option for me by a mile. But yeah, playing against them, particularly after that game, I didn't go out much after that game.
I thought you were going to say it was your dad giving you abuse from the Leicester end. Then
no, he was in the Cov end. But I seen a couple of my uncles in the home end and some friends and stuff like that as well, and lads I played with at Blaby and Whetstone that were in the Leicester end as well. But yeah, it's same with Liverpool. When I obviously been a Liverpool fan, when I went back there with Wigan, it's always difficult when you're playing against a team that that means something to you. But obviously, I didn't support Leicester, but obviously I knew all my family did. So yeah, it was. But we got a great win and got out there pretty quickly.
Paul Strachan says, Chris, was the game at Liverpool where we got stuffed 4-0? It was one of your best performances for Cov. Remember, you were outstanding that day.
4-1.
4-1, yeah. 4-1, Paul. Come on, give some credit.
David Thompson scored, didn't he? And did that celebration at the board, didn't he? Because they let him go from Liverpool. But listen, I think that helps. I mean, it was a busy day, but that going to. I mean, listen, Liverpool back then. I mean, it's been like that the last few years as well. But yeah, going to Liverpool, then you're thinking this could be a long day. Particularly the players they have and always had over the years. But yeah, I remember that game, played quite well, and then Highfield Road, I think we lost 2-0, but I probably should have saved both goals actually at Highfield Road, particularly Macca's free kick. But yeah, made a lot of saves. And yeah, I think that, that's Gerard Hulley said that, when you played against us, you're outstanding. So yeah, probably helped get the move to Liverpool.
Fordy says, I remember when I was little, I saw Chris play against Chelsea, I believe. And from that point, I wanted to be a keeper myself. So thank you for giving me an introduction into football.
Well, I got sent off in that game. So yeah, I don't know what. I got sent off after 20, was it 20? Wrongly sent off as well. So it got overturned, but yeah, Hasselbank went through, didn't he, at 0-0, and I got a touch to the ball, and then he's sort of dived over me, got sent off, but it got overturned, so I could play against United the week after. But yeah, thanks for the message. Yeah, when I was 18, 19, I was fearless. I just wanted to play, wanted to train. I'd be out on the training pitch all day. They'd have to drag me in some days, but yeah, it was. I remember that game. Because I got sent off after 20 odd minutes and we ended up getting beat 6-0. I always remember that actually because Alan Miller went in goal, bless him, and Ken Bates come in the change room after the game. I don't know if I think Carlton's told this story, isn't he? Carlton Palmer. So Ken Bates, he's come in the change room after with 2 bottles of champagne, and he said, yeah, that's for the young lad for getting sent off, wrongly getting sent off, and this is for Alan Miller. The other goalkeeper, and Carlton Palmer stood up and told him where to go, told him to get out of the dressing room, and yeah, sent a load of abuse his way. And Ken Bates just looked absolutely stunned. I mean, he shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't come into the change room, but I think he was doing it with good intentions. But yeah, Carlton Palmer absolutely ripped into him, and Ken Bates basically went out of the change room crying his eyes out with 2 bottles of champagne.
One question before I hand you quickly back to Ken. What's the story behind your dad putting the bet on for you to play for England?
Yeah, so I was an outfield player to start. I was never any good. I was always on the bench for Sunday League team for like me Barwell when I was growing up as a kid. And then the goalkeeper for Barwell got injured. I think I was under 13s or I was around 13. And I was the only one on the bench, or one of the only one on the bench. And the manager went, "Right, who's going in goal?" And he went, "Chris, you go." And I went, "I've never played in goal." And he said, "We'll just give it a go." And so that's how my career started, by accident, really. And I remember going in, made a few saves, thought, "Oh, I really like this." And it was after that game, or a couple of weeks after, my dad put the bet on for me to play for England. Never told me, didn't know anything about it. He kept the betting slip in his pants drawer for like 12 years, 13 years. And then the day before the game at Old Trafford, when I was making my debut, got asked about it in a press conference. And again, I said, I don't know what you're on about. So I rang my dad and he said, "Yeah, add it on after one of your first games in goal." He said, "I've just seen something, you took to it like you'd played in goal for years and it was your first game." So he had a little bet on it, yeah.
How much do you win?
Well, listen, it was 100 to 1, £100, which is awful odds. And my mum and dad didn't have £100 back then. So I think they had 20 quid, and some aunties and uncles had 10s and 20s and stuff. But when I was 12, 13, I was not in the best shape in the world. I was quite chubby as a lad. And if I'd have gone into the bookies with my dad, he'd have got about £1 million. Because they'd have looked at me and thought, "There's no way he's playing for England." So yeah, but it was 100 to 1, £100, and now that obviously the bookies will say, "Well, it was a great bet from us because it saved us some money." But yeah, it should have been a lot more odds than that.
Yeah, Ken, back to you, mate.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question about the bet.
Sorry,
It was interesting reading the book, to be honest. And
yeah, by the way, I've got a bit more time as well. I've not got to go on till 5:30 now, so I've got another 15 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, that's fine. We've got plenty of questions coming in. Now, obviously, you went from Cov to Liverpool. Now, you went to West Brom on loan, didn't you, as well? What happened there? Did Liverpool want to loan you out then? Or was it just a matter of playing games?
Rafa said that, you're not going to play here, so you need to go out and get some games somewhere.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, Joe Corrigan was the goalie coach at West Brom. Who was the goalie coach at Liverpool. When I went there and he rang me, said, "Look, come here." Brian Robson rang, said, "Look, we've got Joe here, come here and play for us." And I went there and started the season great. I played the first 10 games. My form was back. I was enjoying it. The lads were a brilliant set of lads at West Brom. And then we played up at Bolton, and a cross come in, and Kevin Davis come and hit us in the side just by my kidney, like with his knee, and I fell on the floor, and then he fell on top of me as well. And Kevin Davis is a big, big lad. And I finished the game, and then I got home that night after the game, and I started to feel really sick, really ill. And then I went to the toilet and I weed blood out, and basically he'd lacerated my kidney. So basically my kidney had started bleeding, and that was me out for most of the rest of the season then, yeah. So yeah, first 10 games went great, but then I took a bad knock, and it took me a long time to recover from that.
Yeah. So you have to find it. You went back obviously to Liverpool. You had to find another club. Then you ended up at Wigan.
Yeah,
where you made quite a lot of appearances for Wigan, didn't you?
Well, Wigan was the best part of my career. The most I played, I think I played 150 odd games or whatever it was for them. I was captain at times. Things just, as soon as I walked through the door, things just fitted. Yeah, Gary Walsh was the goalie coach. Paul Jewell signed me. Then Steve Bruce come in, and Nigel Spink, ex-Villa, come in, and yeah, just loved our time there. We socialised off the pitch with other players and their young kids, because we all had young kids. And yeah, it was the best part of my career from 2006 to probably 2010. The last 2 years weren't great, but yeah, that period, them 4 years were my best period in football. And
you went on to Sheffield Wednesday then, didn't you? Played for them.
Went there in 2012. Was there for 3 years, yeah, and then obviously off the pitch, that's when things started to just take effect because of the travelling away from home and the changing routine and stuff. But yeah, amazing club, brilliant fans, and yeah, went there and played more or less every game for 2 years. But I was there 3 years, and then left them and went to Preston for a year, and then retired in 2016, so 10 years ago this summer.
Now, you are involved, you mentioned obviously all the issues with the painkillers and stuff. You're involved in some sort of charities and foundations, aren't you? You help them a lot.
Yes, I'm the community ambassador for the Liverpool Foundation. which is something I love doing. Love going. So do a lot of talks in schools, a lot of obviously sports stuff. We've run a lot of sessions for the elderly, walking football, and get them out of ice, so they're not isolated on themselves at home. Food bank stuff, yeah. So I love all that stuff. I do a lot of stuff at Edgehill University as well with the sport and mental health department. And then I've got my own goalie academy with my daughter that we run a couple of nights a week as well, yeah. So I need to keep busy, like keeping busy. Been offered back into football a couple of times, but I love doing what I'm doing too much now, particularly the community stuff. And yeah, I don't think I'll go back into coaching, as you call it, because I love this too much.
Who is the best player you played with, you think, over the years? You've played for quite a few clubs.
Steven Gerrard. Yeah.
Gerrard. Okay.
Yeah, he was just. I played with him and against him, obviously, when I went back to Wigan, and yeah, much rather play with him than against him, because he just had. People will say he just had everything. He could defend, he could attack, he could cross, he could shoot, he could tackle. His passing was as good as anybody's. But yeah, he was unstoppable.
Of course, you played with Gary Mack as well, didn't you, Gary Mack?
Yeah, Gary.
He was fantastic.
Still see him a lot at Liverpool games now, but yeah, I mean, technically wise, and obviously he's seen me from a youngster at Cov, and then I think he had a bit of hand in the move as well to Liverpool, because he rang me saying, "Look, Liverpool are desperate to sign you. Won't sign for anyone else." But yeah, he technically was an incredible player. But yeah, Stevie for me is the best I've ever played with.
Yeah, Claudio, we've got some more questions from some.
I think, am I right? You missed out on the Champions League final, didn't you, through injury? And Scott Carson was in the reserve keeper. I reckon Scott Carson must have the biggest haul of medals and cups and trophies actually played any matches. He's been at Man City for God knows how many years, hasn't he?
Yeah, so he offered me his medal actually on the pitch after, because I was meant to get one, and a few of the medals went missing because on the pitch after there was so many people on the pitch, a few of them went missing, so I never actually got one. But I played in the early rounds, played against Olympiacos, the famous one at Anfield where Stevie scored in the last minute with Andy Gray's commentary. So, but then I had to have I had a back operation in the end of January, so missed out. But I was out there, like I said, I was a Liverpool fan, so I was out there as a squad, as a player, but as a fan as well. So yeah, we were out in Istanbul.
I mean, now you'd get a medal, wouldn't you? Because they've changed it all now, haven't they? You'd be given the medal if you've competed during the actual tournament.
Do you? Well, I don't know who to contact.
Oh, yeah. They do.
I think you do that.
You might have to send a few emails to me then, try and sort that out.
You definitely do. They do. If you've been part, well, now they do anyway.
Oh, right. Oh no, now. Yeah, but this is going back 21 years now.
Yeah.
Do you keep all your shirts and memorabilia from your?
I did, but they've all gone now. So I've either given them to charities or I've given them to people close to us. But I've got. Plus, they were starting to stink, especially the gloves. So my wife was like, "They cannot stay in the house. You've got to get them out." So yeah, I've got. I don't think I've got anything left at all now. I've got a couple of medals and bits and bobs, but shirt-wise, no. If they are, they're in the loft somewhere, I can only imagine how bad they smell.
Yeah,
that silver one's got Headman on the back of it. Actually, that's why I won't turn it round.
I think I've actually got that one, because when I left, in fact, I know I've got that one, because when I left, I got all the lads to sign it, and the kit man Andy Harvey, who was an amazing guy at Coventry as well. So I know I have got that one up in the loft somewhere, because I got everybody to sign it when I left.
Mark Rainbow, he's put a message in. He says, Chris, he's bringing back bad memories of that Liverpool game in 01. Was the last game I left early. To be fair, it wasn't just Chris's fault. My pregnant other half going to hospital might have also helped.
Yeah, is that the game at Highfield Road or the one at Anfield?
I think the one at Anfield.
The one at Anfield, yeah. So I can't remember what it was. 1-0 at half time, was it? I think it was 1-0 at half time, and then it ended up 4-1, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was singing, so I probably shouldn't admit this but I was, so before the game, obviously being a Liverpool fan, it's like my first game at Anfield and being a Liverpool fan, so I actually sung "You Never Walk Alone" on the pitch at the start of the game as a Coventry City player, which wasn't I can admit it now because I've retired, but yeah, I was singing "You Never Walk."
my memories going to Liverpool was always 4-0 to Liverpool, even in the late 70s.
I'll tell you
It
what,
just-
I remember actually after that game, because after that game we were waiting for the bus, and we were all standing in this little area where you wait for the team bus to go home. And I just remember Paul Williams, we talked about him before, Stevie, and I just remember Paul Williams and a few of the others, and he just went, "Can I just say something, lads?" He went, "Steven Gerrard, oh my God." Like that, yeah, because so he ran the show that day, and yeah, so definitely the best I've ever played with. But I just remember all the players after saying, "Wow, this lad is going to be incredible."
I'm sure Gordon tried to get him on loan when he was younger, and they wouldn't let him go because they were going to put him in the
I didn't know
first team.
that.
Basically. They were
Yeah, I
going to
didn't know.
put him into the first team.
He played. Did he make his debut when he was 17 or 17, 18, something
Yeah.
like that? First
Yeah,
team.
that's
Beyond.
yeah. Well, that was the reason they gave him. They said he's coming into the first team, so you can't have him. So
Good try though, wasn't it? Good try.
yes. This is Ralph Wiggins. He said, "I actually remember it well when Chris got sent off. I phoned the FA and sent all the copies in the newspaper, say it was a bad decision. I was fuming. A couple of days later, it was rescinded."
Yeah, so I remember coming in and like
Brilliant.
Gordon said to me as I was coming off, he said, "You get a touch?" I went, "Yeah, 100%." I said, "It's not a sending off." And then he's gone into the change room. And it was at half time. He was seething. Gordon was, and Jim was, and Gordon was just saying, "Have they proved that he got the ball?" And Jim said, "Yeah, they've proved it on the gantry." Said he's got the ball. And he just said to me, he says, "Listen, we'll appeal. We can't do anything about it now." He says, "But we'll appeal. Don't worry about it." But obviously, listen, I was devastated. But yeah, he got overturned, and then I played against United, Man U, the next week.
You were hoping then for VAR. What do you think of VAR as a goalkeeper now? Because I'm not still like that with it, but
it just yeah. I mean, it takes 7-8 minutes sometimes, don't it, to come to a decision that's clear as day. I just don't get how they're still getting decisions wrong. I mean, they're still getting decisions wrong when they're looking at replays for how long, and they still get them wrong. So yeah, not for me. Not for me. It took a lot away from the game.
Even though it would have saved you that day, wouldn't it? Probably VAR.
It would have done that. Yeah, it would have done that day. Yeah, I'd have still stayed on. Yeah, yeah. So I wish it was back then, but no, not now. It just takes too long. And they get, like I said, they're getting decisions wrong still. So yeah, it baffles me at times.
It's interesting because the Villa Newcastle game yesterday, and we were talking in our little group about this, saying they just become lazy. I think the referees are relying because there's no VAR, so some awful decisions where would probably got overturned, and some of these referees drop down into the Championship, and it's absolute chaos. I'll dread to think what's going to happen tomorrow night against Middlesbrough. Actually,
yeah, you're right. They know that it's going to go to VAR, so they're not. Are they concentrating as much, or are they, because more or less every decision, particularly every goal now, gets checked, doesn't it? And but I know there's been obviously some huge mistakes in the Championship.
Yeah, it's another question for you, Chris, from Mark Rainbow. How many England camps did you go to before starting? Did you ever think you'd never get an England start?
I was in a lot of squads. Yeah, I was in a lot. But listen, there was a lot of very good goalkeepers. I mean, one of my first, I got invited to train before Euro 2000. So when I was still at Cov, Gordon called me up. He said, "Look, England want you to go and train with them before Euro 2000 as a fourth, not as in the squad, but they want you to go and train because they rate you and stuff, and they want to have a look at you." So I went down there, and David Seaman, Nigel Martin. So I was around England squads from 18 really. And I didn't make my debut till I was 26, so around 8 years. But I was in a lot of squads, yeah. But then obviously David James, they had Ben Foster, Paul Robinson, who else was Rob Green. So there was a lot of good, and I'd either pull out or miss out, or so yeah. It was meant to happen a few times before, and for whatever reason it didn't. So it was a long time coming.
When you're at Wigan, I mean, you said you played loads of games there. What do you think changed them physically for you? Because obviously you didn't seem to have so many injuries at Wigan.
Listen, the injuries at Liverpool, people say, look, injury prone. Injury prone is where you pull the same muscle, you pull the same, calf or hamstring. Liverpool was just unlucky. It was just collisions. Daly Adebola in the FA Cup, I've slid out, he slid in, went knee to knee, and I bust my knee. The injuries at Liverpool, broke my wrist. Harry Kuehl hit a shot, point blank range in training, broke my wrist. They were just unlucky. When I went to Wigan, I don't know. I didn't change anything. I didn't do anything different. I just had a little bit more luck. So, and then, for the rest of my career, I hardly missed any games at all, contrary to what people think. If I wasn't playing, it's because I wasn't picked. In the last year or so at Wigan, and then the last year or so at Sheffield Wednesday, Kieran Westwood was playing. But apart from that, I was fit and available for 95% of training and games.
You were managed by Paul Jewell at Wigan. What was he like? Because he come across as quite a character in his post and pre-match interviews.
Yeah, he rang me, so I knew about the move. So obviously, Rafa coming at Liverpool said, "Look, don't want you anymore. You can leave." And I knew where I went next was a massive decision because I wanted to go back to a British goalie coach and a British manager if I could. But particularly the goalie coach, because the Spanish goalie coach that coming at Liverpool after Joe, it just wasn't for me. It was no repetition. It was low key. You come off the training pitch not having done anything. So I knew where I went next was a massive decision. I got a call off my agent saying, "Look, Wigan are desperate for you," and but Paul Jewell doesn't think you'll sign for him because it's Little Wigan. And so, but I'd already done my own work. Spoke to a few lads. Knew he was a real good guy, and I was always going to go there. And he rang me. I was up in Scotland. We were at a wedding, and he said, "Chris, it's Paul Jewell." He says, "Don't put the phone down. I want you to come and sign for Wigan." And I said, "Yeah, no problem." And then as soon as I walked through the door, everything just clicked. And it was a loan to start with from Liverpool. But after a few weeks, they just said, "Look, we want to make this permanent now." And it got made permanent pretty quickly. And it was just, he was a great guy, great manager, man manager. He he'd give you a kick up the arse if you needed it. But he'd do it in a way that you'd like him even more after it because he did it in a certain way. And he was always cracking jokes, always having laughs, always backing the lads no matter what. But in the change room, if we needed a grilling, he'd give it to us, but he'd never do it publicly. He'd never put any player in front of, like address them or hammer them in front of the press. And Steve Bruce was the same when Steve Bruce come in as well. He's one of the best managers I've worked under because of the way he spoke to players, knowledgeable as well. But yeah, Paul Jewell and Steve Bruce are part of the reason why Wigan was the best part of my career.
Sorry, Ken, just quickly. Trying to get the timeline right. Were Wigan in the Prem when they signed you, or had they got promoted?
Yeah. No, they were in the Prem.
They were in the Prem, yeah.
I think they'd been in there. Yeah, they'd stayed up in 05, 06, and then I signed in 06.
Right. Yeah, Ken. Sorry, Ken.
No, it's okay. I was going to ask you about your best managers you played under, and obviously Strachan's one of them. And is there quite a few then?
Yeah, well, I put obviously, listen, I Gordon everything because you mentioned before he was playing me instead of in front of Magnus Edman, which spoke volumes because he was seen as the best keeper in Europe at that time and probably was. But yeah, the mix is obviously Gerard Houllier, who was just a brilliant guy and a brilliant manager at Liverpool, and then Steve Bruce. So yeah, it'd be a mix of those three. But the best I played under was Steve Bruce.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Now, one of the biggest tragedies in football, obviously, was the Hillsborough disaster. I read a little bit about it in the book. You had tickets for that game, didn't you? You were due to go to that game.
We did, yeah. Yeah, we did. So my dad, my dad had tickets, but my auntie was playing in one of the first shows, and it was a matinee. So it was in the afternoon, and my mum sort of says, "No, you're going to that. You've been to football games, you're going to that." And we were going right up until because it was obviously we were leaving, and we were going up right up until we were leaving, and Mum said, "No, you're not going." So my dad didn't have time to give the tickets to anybody else, and it's something to this day that he always says that if he'd have given them to someone else, it would have been devastating. Having might have the people that went might have obviously like a lot of people did lose their life. So he always said that he doesn't know why. He said there just wasn't time to give them to someone else. But we had the radio on my dad had the radio on in the show, and obviously heard it all unfold, and just one of the biggest tragedies ever to football.
I still remember it to this day, watching grandstand.
It was real, wasn't it? Coming out, my dad went sheet white in the show. He said something's happened at Hillsborough, and then to see the scenes unfold on the TV is something that's still haunts to this day. And obviously still live in Liverpool. I go to the memorials every year for the Hillsborough disaster, and they're still fighting. They're still fighting to get justice for what was, off the police and everything that happened. They're still fighting to get that justice, and hopefully one day they will do.
Strange. We'll still go back to that ground, back to Hillsborough. I always think about that tragedy. When Cov played there, and I always think, God, it could have been because we played there. If you remember, in '87, Cov in the semi-final, we played at that stadium, and I remember against Sheffield Wednesday, we played in the quarter-final there as well, and we were all packed in that same end. That was 2 years before, and we were. I know how tight it was then because I was in there, and there was only one little door to squeeze through, and I can imagine if somebody opened the doors and let loads of people in, it would be, a nightmare. And fences then, you couldn't get onto the pitch.
No, listen, it was just still hurts to this day. Obviously, the people involved that lost loved ones. It's just to lose somebody that went to a football match. It's just it's absolutely devastating, heartbreaking.
Yeah, it should never happen.
No.
And hopefully, this day and age, with no fence, which obviously brought the end to the fences around the side of the pitch, which was great. Because that was a main obstacle in the disaster. People couldn't get out. They're stuck in. And now, obviously, all the fences got removed, which was great. And obviously, grounds are a lot more safer now than they were back then. But yeah, it was one of the worst tragedies ever in football, that was. And I always think about it every time I go to Hillsborough, to be fair. And I look at the memorials and stuff outside the ground. And it could have been anybody, it could have been any team. I was thinking, could we have played in that same stadium just a couple of years before? So it could easily have been us. So, Claudia, you got some more questions from?
Yeah, I'll get a couple more. You played under Roberto Martinez, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was he that like? Because obviously he was kind of he was new to British football, English football, and strange, I would say, in terms of the way he sort of set his teams up. People weren't really used to him, were they?
No, listen, he was confident. He was, but yeah, listen, I got on with him okay. He told stuff sometimes that I didn't agree with, stuff I won't go into today, but it doesn't matter. Listen, if you're at a club and the manager's the manager, you have to adapt to his ways as players, and if you don't, you'll be out of the team or you'll be out of the club. But yeah, I like I said, the best I worked with at Wigan was Paul Jewell and Steve Bruce. But yeah, I played under Roberto, played a few years under him. But yeah, it was his way. It was his way or no way sort of thing.
There's a couple of people watching and wondering, are we going to allow Vicky to talk? Vicky, can you explain what you're doing in the background?
I was keeping an eye on the comments of the questions for Chris. So yeah, I am here.
Vicky is doing a bit. Yeah, that's why she's there. She's pointing.
But while we're here, we will say, look, there's Chris's book. We've got it signed. We have got a competition going tonight, so you can get your answers. I'll ask the question now, so you can get your answers in to this question. How many clean sheets did Chris keep for Coventry City?
Don't answer that, Chris. That's the question.
I don't know the answer to
it. So Vicky, what are your memories of Chris Kirkland? There you are.
It's funny actually. That grey shirt. Seeing Chris in that grey shirt actually is like that sort of come back to me now. Yeah, it's interesting because Headman was a really decent keeper. So to bring in a young keeper, you're thinking, oh, how's this going to turn out? And the fact that you only got to play for half a season before you went up to Liverpool is a shame because I think
I can't hear you there.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Chris can't hear, unfortunately.
I can't hear. I can't hear you, Vicky.
You guys carry on.
Vicky was saying that it was incredible that you came in for somebody who was like an experienced number one international keeper, and that they gave you the spot, really, which is it's pretty impressive at a young age.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, listen, like I said, I was confident in my ability. Obviously, Magnus was brilliant. I got my chance because he got injured. And when you keep, you're only going to get a chance, particularly with the keeper position, if they get injured or they have a loss of form. And then it's up to you whether you take that. And I did. I come in and did quite well, and he stuck with me. But yeah, I used to share a room with Magnus as well, and he was the loudest snorer I've ever heard in my life. And I remember, like, first away trip, I was thinking, Jesus, I'm not like, I didn't sleep. And then I said to him the next morning, and the next morning he said to me, he said, "Did I snore?" And I went, "Yeah, he snored a little bit, yeah." And he went, "If I snore, throw a pillow at me or throw something at me." I'm thinking, I was 18. I was thinking, I can't throw a pillow at Magnus Edman. I was thinking, wow. But yeah, he was the loudest snore. But you know what? He was brilliant with us. He never gave us a cold shoulder. Never said anything bad. Never. Was always there for advice. So he was great with us, even though I had his place.
Yeah, and he's gone through his own troubles as well, hasn't he, Magnus? He was at the Tranmere game when we launched the two-tone kit at St Andrews. I was lucky to meet him that day, and he was the speaker, and he spoke really well. And thankfully, he's also on the road to recovery, which is brilliant, really.
Yeah, he's seen that, and hopefully I'll bump into him one day in the future. Hopefully,
I think it's 8:30, Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just say that question again. There's Chris's book then, available in all good bookshops. And where else can we get it, Chris?
So you can get it online. So it's on my Twitter account and my Instagram account as well, or go to curtisbooks.com. So Curtis Books, Terrace Tales. It's on that as well. But curtissport.com. And it's on there.
Only 20 quid, so it's a bargain, absolute bargain. So the question I asked was, how many clean sheets did Chris keep for Coventry City? Get your questions up, obviously, in the comments, and we'll do a draw at the end of the show for the book, signed book. Chris, give us a quick prediction for tomorrow night's game before you go.
I'm gonna go draw.
Draw.
Yeah,
okay. Okay, that's fair enough. Well,
hopefully I'm wrong. I'm not very good at predictions. Hopefully I'm wrong and it's a home win. But I'm gonna go draw.
Okay, well, if we can't win it, don't lose it. Is the main thing we always say. Look, thanks very much for coming on the show tonight. Much appreciated. Thanks for your stories. Been fascinating to listen to them. The book's fantastic as well, from what I've read, and there's a lot of more information in there about Chris's career and the clubs he's played for, etc. So go and buy yourself a copy. Thanks very much, Chris. So what are you off? When's your next book signing? What club you go to next?
I'm down at the Southampton game on the 14th, so I'll be in and around.
14th. Then you go back up to. You're still doing it up at Liverpool as well, aren't you?
Yeah, doing them all at Liverpool, and we've got some events coming up as well. Yeah, so just follow us on socials, and it's normally on there where I'm going to be and stuff. But back down at the Rico on the 14th of March.
Okay, I'll pop in and see you, mate. No problem.
Cool. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Chris. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. There you go, Chris Kirkland. Fantastic.
They've actually. Should we get Vicky off mute now?
Yeah, we
after all that, then you can hear me anyway.
It's strange. I could hear you, and Claudia can hear. So
people need to stop worrying about you. There is a plan. We have got a plan backstage, Vicky.
We're professional.
Yes. Going to be busy writing down all these correct answers for the competition, which I noticed are coming in.
It's sold out in the Liverpool shop because you tried to buy it during the week. We're at work because I said I could do with the copy really, and but that was great.
Yeah, I mean, I've read a lot of it. I mean, you can have a read of it if you want before we give it away in the competition.
No, that's all right. You're gonna have to let Vicky do all the talking now. I'm going to.
So anyway, the question was, how many clean sheets did Chris Kirkland keep for Coventry City? Well, he made 28 appearances, so there you go. There's a bit of a clue there. But how many clean sheets? How many clean sheets did he keep? Get your answers in. Okay, right. We're going to move on then from Chris to a massive game tomorrow night. Obviously, Boro are in town. Top of the league, Boro, unfortunately, and we want our place back, basically, don't we, Claudia? We want to get back to top of the tree.
Are you coming to me first?
Yeah, I'm coming to you first.
They're gonna have a go at me on the screen. Paul Cuttyford's next time he sees me, he's gonna run me down.
Coming to you first. Vicky's busy writing down the answers. Look, it's a massive game tomorrow. We all know it's a game. We're all excited. I'm pretty confident we can win the game. Are you?
I'll tell you what I can't predict is what the lineup's going to be. Because it's the first time this season, what with this Frank the Tank turn up, I haven't got a clue what the lineup's going to be. I've got no sort of, what is he going to do? And if he brings him in, who's he going to leave out? That's the other thing as well.
Yeah.
defensively, what's he going to do? This is a huge game for Frank Lampard and the coaching staff, more so than the actual players, I think, because this is the one they've got to get right. I think tomorrow night we can't afford. I mean, we can lose and still go on to get promoted. It's not a be or an end all game, is it? But we need to make some sort of impression on Middlesbrough to make sure they realise we're still around, we're still in town, and it's we're trying to get that top spot again. And I think, selection-wise, I haven't got a clue what he's going to do. I mean, do you take a draw now? You probably would. But I'm looking at the games coming up, and they're all tricky, aren't they? So
they are.
And Chris said, Championship, you can win 8, you can lose 8. Everybody in the top 6 have had a mad run of the season, winning 4 games, probably losing 4 games, or not doing so well in 4 or 5 games. So even up front, who do we play? It's just a weird one. It's a selection headache, I think.
It is. Does he bring back Kitchen and Thomas?
Exactly.
Loads of questions. So everybody, we interested to see that team lineup when it comes out, an hour before kickoff, wherever it is tomorrow night. Will be interesting to see what happens. But personally, I think he will bring back Kitchen and Thomas, and I also think Frank the Tank will start with Grimes. We'll play 2 sitting midfielders, and I think Vicky's hero Ellis Sims will start up front. That's my prediction. Vicky, what do you think?
Yeah, well, Claudio's right, isn't he? I think of all the games all season, it's the hardest to predict. I think the only one that we can be certain about is that Rushworth will be in goal. After that, it could be any of the 10 players from a whole selection, couldn't it? Really, but I mean, I'd go Sims up front for tomorrow. I mean, I'd be keeping it fairly similar to the team that started up at Middlesbrough, like a reverse fixture. I mean, obviously we can't play Asante because he's suspended. Hopefully, if EMC's back in contention, he could sort of take that role. And then I'll probably bring in Frank for Torp. And then other than that, pretty much the same team that played the reverse fixture. But what Frank's going to do is a whole other ball game, isn't it?
So you'd bring back Kitchen and Thomas?
Yeah. I'd get So I'd bring in sort of standard back 4 that we were playing earlier on in the season. I really believe that we've got to try and get a win going, and we've got to try and get a win going with those players that we say are our best 11. And as much as I'm a big fan of that Abodia, and I think he gets a lot of undue stick generally, I think that it's fairly accepted that, at least for Frank anyway, that Kitchen and Thomas would be his preferred back centre backs. And so I think you've got to start playing them and try and get some form with them in the team to sort of start getting some wins together. And I'd be bringing them back in.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't know whether we're going to play the new guy or not. I mean, Esse. I'm a bit Rodoni or Esse, and I'm not sure, but I think Esse is a danger because Rodoni's not been playing up to scratch for me, has he?
I wouldn't play either, to be honest. I wouldn't play either. I'd have depending if EMC's fit. If EMC's fit, I'd have him on the left, and I'd have Sakamoto on the right, and then I'd be playing like Grimes, Frank, and then Eccles in front of them, and then Sims. So there wasn't space for Rodoni or Esse in that. I'd have them on the bench to come on later on, make an impact, but I wouldn't be starting them.
Interesting. Claudio, I mean, what would you mess around with the team or stick to what he's been playing?
He could. Frank the Tank's got to come in. If he doesn't start, there was nothing in the last 3 previous matches to suggest Frank the Tank can't get into this midfield. As far as I'm concerned, he needs to start. Will he then think about, okay, we had our best period when we had certain players playing in defence, obviously Kitchen and Bobby Thomas. At the minute, we are no threat whatsoever from corners and set pieces when they're not in the team.
No.
There's just no end product at the minute. It's all dried up, hasn't it? Really. Yeah. So in some ways, you probably do need him in the team. Defensively, the two lads have to play right and left. I mean, you could bring in KKH, but I can't see that. We don't even know how fit he is. We don't know what's going on. As we know, Brow's out at the minute, and he's not going to get any game time anytime soon, really, is he? No. So you got a midfield then of Grimes and Onyeka and one other. Who is that one other? And at the minute, it's Torp or Eccles, isn't it? I think to play in front of them. Possibly, I would go for Torp because you've already got a guy who's going to be doing loads of tackling and somebody to hold the ball. What we could do is somebody. I know Eccles has scored a few from around the box, but anything, free kicks, deliveries as well, corners. Torp's very good at that. Set pieces. We do need somebody else.
Yeah.
And then you got up front. What do we do up front? Sakamoto, I think, has been doing okay. Then it's either or, isn't it? The wafer thin piece of paper between Ellis and Haji Wright. And when Haji Wright came to that meeting last Tuesday, it just seems confident. It's really weird. His mannerisms, the way he is, he looks chilled out.
Laid back.
Yeah, he looks confident. Although he did say they are feeling the pressure. We can see they're feeling the pressure. We've seen it. EMC, if he's fit, he has to play. So the issue is that left-hand side, really, because if he's not playing, who do you put there is more my question. Because, I don't know, Vicky, who do we put on the left?
Well, Essay can play there.
Who can?
Essay can play there, can't he?
Yeah, although if you're going to play Sims up front, you could play White there, couldn't you? Back to how they used to do.
That's a possibility if he wants to play both of them, just to shoehorn them in the team, if you like. He'd play both. He could play Haji Wright out left and Sims up top.
But he said at the meeting that he doesn't mind either. And but it'd be interesting. Would Frank do it? He said if Wright's fit, he just sticks him down the middle. Can you remember, Vicky? Has he played him out on the left? Can you remember at all in any games or many games?
I think there was one. I think only one. He's not keen on that at all, is he? I think there was one game, and I can't remember which one it was, but he's really not keen on that at all, is he, Frank? That's never been a move he's made. So whilst we think that's an option, I'd be surprised if he actually does do that.
So if he doesn't do that, and Essay in front of De Silva is a disaster. When you got what's his name, is the guy who's at Whittaker. It's going to be chaos, isn't it? Because neither can defend. So I can tell you now, the way Middlesbrough will start, they'll have three guys. Whittaker will be hugging that touchline, and as soon as De Silva steps up, if we decide to play that way, Whittaker won't move. He'll just be waiting for the ball to go over the top, and that's our issue. Now with Big Frank, if he plays, you have got somebody who's going to hopefully cover the ground, because I think somebody has to, if that's how they line up. But
because Grimes, when we've seen him, he's all over the place at the moment. He's left, right, in the middle, and he needs help in there. And I think Frank will, if you have the two sitting midfielders in there, that will stifle them, I think, in midfield, which is where they're good. They're very good.
I mean, we could play narrow, Vicky. What do you think? I mean, condense it. This is a really tricky game tomorrow night because we don't want to go gung-ho and completely go 5 points behind if we lose. This is serious now. This is a really... We're probably playing Middlesbrough at the wrong time, even though we could overtake them at the top of the table.
Yeah,
it's a funny game, isn't it? Because there's all sorts of permutations, and so if we go on to win and sort of regain our top spot, that's massive for confidence, isn't it? Both for the fans and the players, I think. And but equally, like you said, we've got to be really careful. I think it's a draw and not lose. Like if we can't win it, we're going to just make sure we don't lose it, don't we? So that they're not starting to pull away. But I mean, for me, it just seems like this is the sort of game that suits us more anyway. Like we know we play better against teams that like Middlesbrough are going to come and play, aren't they? They're not going to do what Oxford did last week. And so yesterday, I know I mentioned in the chat, I went to Manchester City yesterday to watch the one of my best friends is a season ticket holder at Man City, and she'd got a spare ticket, so I went to watch the FA Cup fourth round against Salford. Salford were playing pretty much like Oxford did, like just really solid, men behind the ball, and even like Man City with the ability of players that they've got, like Foden's playing, they were just like really struggling to break down that like Salford like rear guard, and it makes you realise how hard it is to play against a team like that. And so when Oxford were doing that last week, that's difficult. Whereas it suits us when a team comes to play like Middlesbrough do, don't they? And actually, just talking about the Man City game, randomly, so I'm outside the Etihad. Someone comes over to say hi, who recognised me from this channel. So there was another Coventry fan. So there was two of us up there. I think his name was Rich Woodfield. So apologies if I got that wrong, Rich. He's friends with Jim Brown, and yeah, so we bumped into each other outside of the Etihad, both there yesterday. And he just recognised me up there, so I said I'd give him a shout out.
There was an interesting press conference with Guardiola, and it was a great question where the guy was talking about fluidity. So he says you've got a front three who like to move around the pitch and get involved. He says, how do you coach them to stop them getting in the way of the midfielders, basically coming too deep? And you can see for the first time ever, Guardiola sort of went, "Oh, do you want a job on the bench?" That's what he said to me, because it's like a proper footballing question, not like trying to look for headlines all the time. And you can see that Guardiola was impressed, and it's true, because sometimes you wonder, don't you, when we have a formation, we talk about people pressing, why aren't they pressing? And Frank Lampard came out and says, well, we don't press because as soon as somebody goes too high up, they're in between the lines, and we're trying to keep them down there half the pitch. Because in a couple of games, we're going, come on, why aren't we pushing up? Why aren't we pushing up? And there's reasons they try and do things. So I thought it was an interesting question, that was actually. Yeah. So, give the team more than 5 minutes tomorrow to see what's happening.
Yeah, it's important also the fans stay with the team and don't get on their back. And, it might be a bit tense for a while, and it's going to be a tight game. I personally think there'll be quite a few goals in it, but I think it'll be tight, It could be like another 4-2 like it was up at Boro,
Well, I'm hoping we just come out and try and play some football. Like Vicky says, they'll be open as well. There'll be space on the pitch, and it could be like the Sunderland game where you got a chance to get in around them and, have a bit of proper possession, not just hoofing it forward and hoping for the best. Shall I read some comments, Ken?
Yeah, it's got a lot of comments coming in. Yeah, go on.
A lot of comments. Lee Lawton says, rumour has it Doug King is set to sell to Abu Dhabi investors.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh.
He was at Parliament today. He was at the Westminster House of Commons. Yeah, there's a photo on Facebook of him with the one of the Coventry MPs.
Oh, okay.
He's probably, I wonder what he's doing there. Interesting.
Friends in high places, see?
Yeah, Paul Stratton. This game will be season defining. This game will be season defining. Must not lose game. Time to get back on it and show how good we are. If we compete all over the pitch, we'll have a great chance. If we don't, we'll lose. Bring it on. Yes. Liam Moss says, even all, tomorrow's an end of season decider about it. Madness, really, when we've still got a long way to go. This weekend has dragged. It has, actually. I enjoyed watching Grimsby on that mud heap against Wolves. That was quite funny today.
Did they have any chances, or was it all Wolves?
No, it was a proper old-fashioned cup tie because of the pitch, and it's interesting how far the ball doesn't travel on a muddy pitch. You forget. You think that's a good ball. Oh no, it's not got there because it got stuck somewhere. But fair play to Wolves. They had to dig deep to get that win. Really, it was a tough one. Paul Cutford, press the ball, work hard, show you're willing to run through a wall for the shirts. We can ask no more. Just don't repeat the form of the last month. Shows you can do it in the next 14 games. Yes, that's the whole thing, isn't it? That's what we need to do. Yeah. Can't see us winning, even with home advantage, says Sky Blue Army, unless the tank starts and he makes a difference. But can't see our defence stopping them. But I hope I'm wrong. We hope you are. Glenn says, let's ram the critics' nonsense comments back down their throats.
Yes.
Well, we were flavour of the month, weren't we? November. We couldn't do anything wrong. And then all of a sudden, we're useless. Is now it's ridiculous, really, isn't it? Yeah, we've gone one extreme to another. With everyone else catching up, we simply must get something from this game. I think a 1-1 draw, says Wayne Ghost.
Okay.
Peter Wapples. I reckon 2-1 tomorrow, then start of the rise. Yes, the Phoenix can rise again.
That's it. We want to get a little run again. Then go to West Brom, where we're not particularly lucky ground for us. We can get a win there as well. That'd be brilliant. And all of a sudden, the confidence is back, isn't it?
You'd like to think. Let's do a guard of honour pre-kick-off for Boro as they've won the league. Says Glenn Watkins. I've seen some of their comments, actually. Some of them are very fair. They're just, a lot of them saying, oh, it's the wrong time to come to Coventry because of the hoodoo. Yeah, so they see this as a real, well, not so much a banana skin, but a really tough game because of past records, which, as we know in football, bizarrely, just seem to happen, don't they?
Yes.
We'd be the same, wouldn't we? If we had to go to Preston, if we needed 3 points and we had to go to Preston away, yes. We wouldn't want that game, would we? That's yeah, we know.
Exactly. Even against 10 men, we've 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go. We still couldn't beat them, Vicky, could we? Ian Smalls, even if they'd all gone off the pitch, we'd have somehow scored an own goal. Ian Smalls, even all genuinely anxious about tomorrow, a lot resting on the tank. I hope we get a win as morale will soar. Mine will. I've got the day off Tuesday, though, so...
and me, Claudia. I'm off as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm not seeing you, that's for sure.
No. Coincidence.
Glenn says, Raphael did today something none of our wingers do enough. Got the ball, ran inside and had a shot from 20 yards at goals. None of our lot do that. They did early on the season, though. It's so frustrating. Yeah. Tats 2 or 3 times did the right thing in recent games, cuts inside and then decides not to, which is just a shame. Paul Stratton says, does the tank start? I hope so. Can't see Grimes, Eccles, Thorpe winning it for us. Hackney and Morris need to be put under pressure. I mean, I did like what also Dan said when he mentioned Eccles on Hackney to do a job on him, which he could probably sacrifice.
Yeah. I said that in the week on Facebook about doing that because he did that job against O'Hare. O'Hare. Sorry, in that Sheffield United game. So that's an option. And actually, on that comment, it was Grimes, Eccles, and Torp who started the reverse fixture when we won up there. So that's not. I mean, whoever that was, I'm sorry, I missed the name who commented that, but it's not without the realms of possibility. But I think Frank will start. It just seems crazy that he doesn't. But the midfielder Grimes, Torp, and Eccles has had success over this season.
Could go box midfield.
Yeah,
the box midfield, 4 of them. You never know.
You might throw a spanner into it, surprises all. Yes,
we might need a spanner to unlock the defence to loosen the bolts. Yes,
we need a spanner to unlock our defence. Though.
No. Won't need anything the way things are. Phil, PTA suspension has cost us. I worked out what would be missing. It's BTA winning the ball back quickly. He was doing it a lot and we were scoring from it a lot. Plus he gets in the box himself, says Sky Blue Army. Well, it's the energy and, it's such a poor send. Well, it wasn't a sending off, but yeah. Decision making by BTA is not great. London I says, I'm thinking a draw. Coventry have had an awful time over the last several weeks and Boro are on a bit of a roll. However, Boro's record v Coventry is appalling.
Yeah, absolutely appalling.
They're not going to win every game from now to the end of the season. Why can't it start at, I'll just say Highfield Road then, at the CBS? The run ends, basically. It's interesting. It's going to be a fascinating game.
It is.
I'm just trying to get his... Assassins United is back in the Sky Blues to bring them 3 points tomorrow. I'm just getting through these comments.
A lot of the answers coming in for the... by the way, I just said the question again. How many clean sheets did Chris Kirkland keep for Coventry City while he was here? Answers in the comments, please, if you want to win this book. Signed copy. We'll do the draw at the end of the show.
Salup CCFC says, all we have got going for us tomorrow, to be honest, is that Cov are a rare hoodoo voodoo club for Boro.
Yeah.
Do we all think we are that bad now then? Is that what people are saying? Is that the impression? This is what I don't understand.
No, it's just crazy, isn't it? Because just because we lost 4.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vic.
We have to respect Middlesbrough, don't we? Like, we always know, like, 'cause when we went up to Middlesbrough for the reverse fixture, we were like, this is going to be one of our hardest games of the season. And because they are a decent, like, one of the better Championship teams, aren't they? We know that, but so are we. Like, we've shown that this season, we are, and actually we've shown it in recent seasons. We've now consistently been around the top half, like the top end of the Championship, sort of 10 above. So we are a competitive Championship side. So I don't know why we suddenly started saying that we can't beat teams, because on our day we can beat anybody.
Yeah, it's like a school. It's like I say, it's like a school year, isn't it? We've had the winter term, which was an A star, A plus star even. We had the spring term, which is a bit of a D, and you really need to keep doing revision. It's like you've had a fantastic start to the school year. You've crashed your mock exams, haven't you? And then all of a sudden you realise you've got to do a bit of work to get to pass your exams in the summer. We now have got the back end of what is the school year, the back end of the season to sort it out, basically.
We've got to up the ante, haven't we?
Well, exactly, Ken. You know, they know what's at stake, and sometimes there's nothing to do about whether or not how much you want it or not. It's just getting over those nerves, the pressure, the ability to get around that is just as important as having the ability. They've got the ability. They showed that in the first third of the season. Yeah, but we have had a stack of injuries, these illnesses, suspensions to 3 key players who were playing. All 3 were playing well at the time, and they've all been suspended. You know, if there's 3, Jade Silva, season of his life, and then gets suspended. He's not been the same since he's come back. It's like the rhythm's gone. BTA gets injured, comes back, gets suspended. Not great. Bobby Thomas was doing fine. He was classed as the best defender in the Championship before he got suspended.
He had a host of clubs after him, didn't he?
He did. So we're not totally useless. We're second in the table. You know, it's not that bad, is it? It's very good, in fact. Ray Carillon says, first game back after 2 months after being away. I'm bringing my Yankee luck. I'd start with Sims after he got 2 at Middlesbrough. Frank may surprise us and start Aggie as well. I thought you'd say he's going to start himself.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Imagine if you could have a special team like in American football and he just comes on for free kicks around the box.
Yeah.
It's going to be great, actually. I think it's a great idea. Let's Americanise it. Just in time for the World Cup. Gary Dilligan says, even guys, to be honest, Cov have always had good keepers. It's one position we were envied. Apart from Radi Abramovich, who was Radi Abramovich, who was ended up getting Notts County, who was
oh yes. Didn't Bobby Gould sack? Did he sack him, or did he say
exactly? You're never going to play for this club again, but it was at half time. Class management. M. King says Rushworth has that eye of the tiger look about him, tremendous concentration and focus. We need to go up to keep him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there'd be so many Premier League clubs snouting after him, wouldn't there?
Yeah, he'd be gone. He'd be gone to a Premier Club. Or Ray Carillon, or just sold to another top Championship team if we don't sign him. He says, we do need to press as a team tomorrow. Middlesbrough play short triangle passes. They're also good at controlling the game without the ball. Gary Dilligan says, Boro have also had good keepers from Stephen Pearce to Bryn. It's going to be a good game tomorrow. I presume Darren is a Boro fan. Janet says, Janet says, Roy and Maria are my brother and sister-in-law. There you go, Janet.
The Sky Blue Lodge.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember me, Janet, from my days at the malt shovel, but
His hair
I think I've described Roy perfectly.
His hair's Janet.
I imagine you're pretty unforgettable, Claudia, to be honest. I'm sure she does remember you.
He's a top. Roy was in. You always used to see him in a little minibus, always driving around in it, and as a top guy. Yeah, he used to drink a bit. That's pub and bubble, the malt show. Yeah. Wayne says, I bet the car journey with Bellamy was fun. Very arrogant man, but has grown up a lot now. Yeah.
It does seem to have come across a little bit better once since his. I'll say better. A little bit better since I've seen some of his interviews on telly as the Wales manager.
He's not liked anywhere.
No.
Is there something about him that really winds people up? You know,
yeah.
And I think that's at most clubs he's been to. He's definitely improved as a player after he left us, that's for sure. And to be fair, before he came to us, he was all right at Norwich, but he had an ACL should never have signed him. Should never have signed him.
No.
Yeah, that's all water under the bridge now, isn't it? So they say. We don't forget, do we? Jack, Boro fan here in peace. I love it when they say that. Look forward to tomorrow's game. It's like you go. It's like Game of Thrones, isn't it? I come here in peace, and then you just execute him. I haven't got time for peace. Have some of that. Look forward to tomorrow's game. Should be a good one. I'm nervous as we never do well against Cov, but may the best team win.
That's hopefully us.
I've seen. I mean, it's in recent years we've done okay, but I've seen some rubbish back in the day up at Middlesbrough, Ayrton Park, and Riverside.
Yeah,
especially Ravanelli was there as well. Oh dear.
They had Brian Robson, all some top players, didn't they?
Merson,
yeah.
Was that Janino? Was Janino? Was he at Yeah.
Emerson and Janino.
Yeah.
I remember there's one time I was having to mark the pitch out at Bubbenhall, and I think by the time I got round the outside of it, we were 3-0 down. I was listening to it on the radio. I thought, this is great, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. It used to be shambolic up at there. It's only recent seasons it's really improved. So let's hope it's a new hoodoo. Darren Smith says, Wayne Ghost, it's going to be an entertaining game tomorrow. Both clubs deserve to be promoted because they've been fighting for the top spot all season. Not only that, Darren, I think both clubs deserve to go up because in the last few seasons, us and Boro have been around the top 6 all the time. Yeah. And we're doing it without really spending a lot of money. Yeah. And their chairman is possibly one of the best owners in the Football League. He's got to be up there, Gibson. Has to be up there.
Yeah. He's always back the managers, hasn't he, that he brought in?
I think he's done a great job. Has really done a great job. Paul Stratton says, we need bodies in midfield tomorrow competing and being aggressive, matching them up. If we don't, it could be a very long night. The tank has to start. Or it could be my reaction when that time Rodoni was injured and wasn't playing against Birmingham, and I went, we're going to get battered and we win 3-0. So, which Coventry City is going to turn up? That's
the question, isn't it?
That's a big question on everybody's lips, isn't it?
Maybe that's what you should ask the team. Which Cov City is going to cross that line tomorrow? Nicholas James says, we as fans really need to get our boys over the line and get the win tomorrow. I think our boys start afresh from these last 15 games. Wayne Ghost actually hope Boro go up with us, and Millwall would shake up the Prem a bit at least. Nicholas also says, I wanted to say what a great night it was last Tuesday meeting the players at Leamington Warwick Sports Club. I thought Hadji and Miguel were great, especially the host Claudia. Oh no, he's not written that. Especially Hadji. And like I said last week, Rob Gurney did a great job. It was a tough gig. It really was. Mark Rainbow. Chris is bringing back Battle. I've read that one. I think Boro are in for a shock tomorrow if they think they can turn up and win. Start flat in the tank, get back to our early season form mentality. 15 cup finals start tomorrow.
And that's what Frank should be telling the players. 15 cup to finals start now before they go out.
I would honestly take the risk and start SA. Tats has been really poor, especially against QPR, says Esball. I love the difference of opinions. It's great. Ez was poor last game. SA was poor last game, but I'll give him grace due to him being out of position and that being his first poor performance. I think he needs to take a leaf out of Guardiola's book and just tell him not to come back outside our area. Just stay further forward. He needs to pick up the ball in 40 yards from their goal, basically, doesn't he, Nicky?
Yeah, because that was the trouble. I don't think he had a poor game. He just made mistakes. Like naivety, isn't it? It's his age and inexperience. It was naive decision making and like doing little tricks just outside of their penalty area, like giving the ball. Sorry, just outside of our penalty area, giving the ball away in dangerous areas. But actually going forward, he did like pose a bit of a threat. Like he wasn't out there that gave us something. So. So I think you're right. Just push him forward until he's not anywhere where we can cause danger to us, and we're okay, aren't we?
I mean, Ken, that's where you want your ball players, don't you? You want them at the top end of the pitch. That's where we need goals.
Yeah, and I think Esse will be a perfect, like in a number 10, really, number 10 role. It'd be ideal there. Just stay forward, and stay up there. And as you say, he's got tremendous skill, great ability, but he just has a habit of giving that ball away silly and stupidly, and then that could lead to putting us under pressure. We can't afford to do that against a team like Middlesbrough because they'll punish you.
Yeah, you got Conway couldn't hit a barn door. He's put them in to 10 pence piece now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's getting the goals now since he had missed that sitter against us. Susan Barney says, heavily reliant on Frank the Tank in midfield, putting in the performance, and MVE and Radoni turning up. Nervous about tomorrow, but we'll also seem to get results against Boro.
Yeah.
That's true. Gaz Jones says, VAR is simple. Keep it tennis style with 2 appeals. Called for by the captain. They get 30 seconds to look at it. Plenty of time to clear and obvious, such as Super Frank's goal against Germany. Oh, no.
Yeah.
That is a killer. Roy Shropshire says, does Vicky ever get a chance to talk?
Yes, she does. When she needs to.
I saw that earlier. Plenty of guesses coming in for the...
Yeah, I'm noting them down.
Nick Rogers says, I was in the West Terrace and asked for your gloves. Apparently, you gave them to my mate Fred. I was fuming. I was Mad Hatter, Mick.
Yeah, Mick.
A few more comments.
It was interesting to see when Chris said about managers and stuff. Gordon Strachan he rated really highly, and a lot of the fans I speak to are very anti Gordon Strachan just because he happened to be the manager that got us relegated. Now, obviously, we'll never know if he never. I don't think he got given enough chance to get us back into the Premier League personally, and I think Strachan is a good manager myself, but he was dictated by, I suppose, the board as well, weren't he? And he had to sell players, etc.
Am I allowed to say I didn't rate him?
You didn't rate Strachan? Well, as a player,
no, I didn't like him. I didn't like him at all.
Yeah.
He used to annoy me with the post-match interviews all the time. Just, I don't know.
So
I never wanted him. As a player, brilliant. I thought it was great for us. He became, I think the problem was, Ron was meant to be in the background, but it came out that apparently he was sacked or whatever it was, and it wasn't the point. It was going to be like a director of football or something. It was meant to be a smooth transition. So I think he was left in the lurch a bit. And, his number 2 is Gary Pendry, which I didn't rate either.
Yeah.
So I think he needed a couple of better coaching people behind him.
Around it. Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
It was a shame, really, because for me, he's still one. Like, even at his age, he's still one of the best players I've seen in the scope. Like, he hadn't lost his ability as a player. He's still one of the like that game against Chelsea when he's just winning rings around some of their like international superstars.
40 years of age, he was. I think.
Yeah,
I mean, as a player, his ability, and I also think it's a bit of a shame because when he went into management, people sort of forget about what he did as a player. Like people remember the manager that got us relegated. They don't really talk about like what you remember him as a player for us, which I think is a shame. I mean, he wasn't. I don't think he's the best manager. I don't think he's the worst. I think he was inexperienced and wasn't helped by the fact that we got rid of Robbie Keane and brought in Craig Bellamy. But for me, that's still the biggest problem. I don't think it really probably mattered who we had that season. It had to take a magician to get us over the line that season. And so,
as you say, I think the players over the season, is not just the game.
Yeah, but it's a shame.
But what he had, Vicky, was powerful people above him messing about, basically buying players when he's being told he's getting this player, that player. He had very little say in some of it, but then to not win away from home that one season when you got Robbie Keane, you got the Moroccans, you got McAllister. Oh, come on, we scored 9 goals away from home all season.
Crazy, isn't it?
Robbie Keane, and we got 2 in one game. I think it's just You know, that was poor. That was poor, and it never got addressed. The thing is with Gordon Strachan is that he took over. I think the first game in charge was Gillingham in the Cup.
Yeah.
And I thought, great, he's going to show us what he's all about. And we lost at home.
Yeah.
I think it was 3-0, I think.
Somebody when you asked Jim about the sliding door moment, you were asking Jim about the sliding door moment the other day. That whole time feels very sliding doors to me, because you got that. Like, you think if we hadn't sold Robbie Keane, if maybe we'd got a more experienced manager, that whole time could have been so different. It was for me, like, where like that just set us on a path. Like, it set us on the wrong path. It's a very sliding doors moment. We could have been a team pushing like European football, winning stuff with Robbie Keane and like decent management and stuff. But we went the wrong way, and then we set ourselves on a downward spiral. And that was a very sliding doors moment for me.
Yeah, because I think if Ron had still been in charge, we wouldn't have had some of the players we'd signed, because he'd have been more. He's got more power, hadn't he? He's got the charisma to say, no, we're doing it my way. And I don't think Gordon really had that.
Yeah, I suppose that's right. He probably didn't stick up for himself too much in the boardroom, and whereas Ron would have, wouldn't he? He would have gone back to the chairman and said, "No, I'll do this. I want to do this." Well, maybe Gordon didn't, being a new manager, if you like, didn't want to upset anybody, if you like.
But yeah, we needed Gordon Strachan as a player, didn't we? That's what we needed. Susan Barney says, we're saying the same as Claudia. No idea what the team will be. I know. I just ain't got a clue. Big Pete says, did you get any hints from Hadji about Monday night? No, nothing. Absolutely. We're lucky to get anything out of him at all, if I'm honest. It was an interesting evening. Kofcommer says Frank the Tank to start alongside Grimes. No number 10 as such. Rudoni and Kitchen on the bench. I think we need to get 4 in midfield. I really do.
Back 3-5 in midfield, Paul Stratton says here.
Well, 10 and a 9. We need to negate Hackney and Morris and win the midfield. I'd start Hadji on the left, Sims up front. Both scored 19 in those positions in the first season. We need Lloyd McGrath to put his kit back on and just do what he did to Gaza and Hoddle and those players way back in the 80s. And
maybe
tackles on them.
Maybe Frank the Tank is that type of player. From what I've heard, he just gets stuck in and he likes to tackle.
And also, Hackney is a bit lazy in his tackling. He got sent off against us, if you remember. He could have gone twice this season already.
Oh, he's a bit like that one. Did you see that one? He whacked that player. The ball had well gone, and he whacked.
He reminds me of Paul Scholes in that respect. He's absolutely useless at tackling.
Yeah,
but he's good when he's got the ball at his feet. So
and he gets frustrated if people take the ball off, and he'll react. So you can wind him up, and he could react and get himself sent off.
Mad Frankie Boxing, let's be honest, we need to win, and on current form, can't see it. I'm not doing the voice because it's too long. But if ever we needed to get the wheels back on, it's tomorrow. Got to defend 1,000,000 times better than we have to have any chance.
Agree. Yeah, agree. 100% there.
Carl O'Connor play 3-5-2 with Van Ivak and De Silva, wing backs, Latty, Wolfie, and Thomas. Frank, Grimes, and Torp, Sims, and Wright up front. See, that isn't a bad shout.
No.
I like the look at it. Cough Coleman need to be quick on the break and not play through the midfield. Imagine just Frank Lampard and Edwards just seeing that and think, that sounds like a great idea. I keep forgetting Edwards' first name. What's his first name?
Joe.
Joe. I keep thinking Rob because that flipping manager.
You're going to say Bert. Well, you're Bert Edwards.
Bert Edwards, yeah. Oh. I've still got my letter from Bert Edwards.
Actually, Joe Mercer. Talking about old people. He's on the they've got a stand at Man City, and they've got some sort of memorial thing, and it says Joe Mercer and Mark Allison, I think.
Mark Allison. Yeah. They won the league. They won the league as they were the manager. Joe Mercer was like the sort of Ron Atkinson type figure, and Allison was the coach as such. And they won the league together.
Yeah, so they got a thing, and I was saying to my friend, I said, "Oh, he was manager at Cov as well." So
That's right. We've had some good managers in the past, especially in the early days. I really feel this is a mini season, and we all need to treat it as such. Every game we give our boys everything. Be loud, be positive, give the love to every single one of our lads. Agree with Vicky, says Frank Woodsey. Worth waiting for. Vicky for the middle three. Eccles has been our best midfield player in the last few games, so he could be the one who comes in just to shore it up.
Yeah.
I agree with Vicky. They all agree with Vicky.
I agree with Vicky.
Oh. Hello to Blue Coventry City from Man City. That's from SBO. Oh, interesting. I'll take that. Good job he went to see the game.
Man City fans.
But Gary Dillon, Tats and EMC has the wide men, the same back four from the reverse fixture, and Matt and Frank across the middle make no difference up top. No one at that are that good at the moment. Am I right in saying there's no City Unseen this week?
I haven't seen one. No.
No, actually, no, I've not seen
no videos. No videos either, was there?
No.
It's almost like a lockdown. Maybe they listen to what people are saying about stop it with these videos now.
Yeah.
It's fun when you're winning. It's
frustrating when you're not.
That's what Ralph Wiggins says. Well said, Victoria.
Well said, Victoria. Well said.
Ice Chip says. Ice Chip checks in the post. That's what we're going to say, Vicky. Ice Chips. Frank has to start because he says the January transfer window was a shambles because none of the new players are automatic starters, just squad fillers. That's right. It's something we've mentioned on the show, isn't it? About have we brought the right players? And I suppose we won't know till right at the end. Take Hackney out, and McGree or Brown or Morris can take their place. London Eye. But you could have said that about us a few months ago. When the goals are coming in from all over the place. If you play both Sims and Wright, we have no forwards as a sub. Good point.
Correct. We haven't, because obviously Sante's still suspended, isn't he?
Yeah. Time to start playing through midfield again. Keeping attacking down wings is now predictable and easy to defend. Get back to the start of the season. Vary our options. Stop being predictable. The good thing is, Ailing likes to get forward, so hopefully whoever's out wide will get some space on that side.
Yeah.
Will he risk going? That's another thing. See, would he risk going forward if you got someone like Esse on the wing?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. You need a skillful, and Esse's got the skills, no doubt about that.
I think I'll put this up. Frankie Fugazi. I'll let you read it. I think we're hoping the same. I'll just put that there. I won't read it out, but yes. Rich says, will there be 22 players on the pitch at the end of the game? That's a good point.
Well, it depends. I don't know who the referee is tomorrow. I mean, I suppose we can find out.
Bramwell? Is it Barwell? Bramwell? Barwell?
Oh, is it? Oh, is that new one?
Oh, that rings a bell. Someone I don't like, Barwell. I'll just Google it. You can run chat him on the Google.
I think he refed us when we played him before, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Boro. Okay.
SBO says, I've got a question here. I have one question for all you Coventry City fans. What a team are going to be Premier League champions this season? Man City or Arsenal? You know what? I won't say I don't care. I'm not particularly bothered, but I wouldn't write Man City off.
Obviously I said I was at Man City 6. My best friend's a season ticket holder, so I've really got to back them. But it's interesting because they were talking about the wobble that Arsenal players are having, similar to the wobble that we're having. It just shows it doesn't really matter what level you get to. That nerve about someone trying to catch you is a problem, isn't it? It's a different mentality to being the chaser. And I think Man City will do it. Personally, I think Man City will do it. I think
looking over their shoulder. Yeah, Arsenal, didn't they? So,
well, eventually their free kicks and corners are not going to come off like it's happened to us. Eventually, they'll dry up. They're not going to keep scoring like they keep doing. So we take Whittaker and Hackney out of the game. Cannot play too high, or Boro will kill us. I mean, we don't even know they're going to start, do we? He's changed around in recent games. Thomas and Latty for me at the back, Onyeka in the middle. Hopefully, Sakamoto and EMC on the wings. SA as an impact sub. It should be a cracker. Although I think he played the same team 2 in a row recently, but he's had to change things around. Cliche man will be after that plonk who said the Boro game will define our season. It won't define anything, mate. They are.
You don't win anything in February.
Coleman rattle some heels, play physical. Will our fans boo if we're down at half time, haven't played well? Hope not. Could get a bit toxic.
Well, I hope not as well. The fans should be getting behind the team, and even if we are losing, that's when they need the fans to get behind them, to lift them.
Mick Rogers, play Thomas and Kitchen, also the tank with Grimes. Eccles is a must, etc. On ETC on the left, who's ETC? EMC, isn't it? EMC. On the left, with Sims up front. Come on, City, 3-2 to Cov. Only reason we've passed back and sideways against Oxford is to try and draw them out. But we need to be quicker when it came to our attacks. Why don't we ever play through the middle either? Oxford game reminded me of the Watford game at the start of the season. Let's hope we go on a similar run. And surprised the amount of hate that Lampard gets on social media. Hope it motivates the team. I've stopped listening to Second Tier now because he's so smug. The one with the ginger beard, really smug. Yeah, it's quite embarrassing as well.
Who do they support? Is that the Derby fans?
Derby, yeah.
They're doing well, to be fair, Derby, but end of the day, we'll give them praise when they deserve it. They should be doing the same.
Well, they're doing well, but not as well as us because we're second. I'm a Coventry fan. I'll cheer the team on until the end of the season. Why would you boo a team you love? Sky Blue Army. I think the clue is Frank the Tank did the pre-match interview, and whoever does that interview always starts. Apart from Sheaf, first game of the season, where he was dropped. When we played Millwall at home, they won 5 on a trot, and we won, so we can do it. Good shout, Colin. Exactly. Spot on, Vicky, says King Carlos. Ethan from Australia says, hey guys, not feeling too confident going into the Boro match. I'd go with 5-3-2 to help us defensively.
Yeah,
I think Ethan's going to come back on possibly this Thursday or next Thursday. Ian Small, not bad, Cloudy, just low on confidence, which is crippling.
Confidence is massive, isn't it, in football? Because you can be the same player and then your confidence is gone, and all of a sudden you're feeling like a League One, League Two player when you're not. But confidence is massive, and when a team's got confidence, as we did have at the start of the season, results come with it.
To Claudio's question, are we that bad? I'm not sure we are that bad, but we don't have the confidence that the side will turn into a good performance. It's early goals.
It's up to management to. This is where they earn their money, isn't it? They've got to make it absolutely clear that they've got to go out and play the way we were playing at the start of the season. Quick, decisive football, like we were doing. The same players. We've changed a couple. We brought a couple in actually, which should improve the team. But there's no reason why we can't do it. No reason whatsoever why we can't beat Middlesbrough tomorrow.
Lee Lawton got to score from open play as we don't get a penalty. Lee will remember Roy because he played in the same team as me. Ice Chips. We're not that bad, and Boro ain't as great as people say. Sheffield United should have beaten them, but Bamford missed a couple of sitters.
Yeah, I think if they'd have kept Sheffield United kept 11 players on the pitch, it could easily have been a draw that game.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
The keeper pulled up a couple of good saves against Hamer as well, didn't he? Hamer had a couple of good shots, and it could have gone either way, couldn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Coventry went on your current wobble after beating Boro at the Riverside. Maybe it will end against Boro tomorrow. I hope not. Coventry just need a confidence boost. Get that boost after tomorrow, please. Right. This is one from Stephen Sanders. Frank should bring back Kitchen and Thomas, but I hope he doesn't. Hopefully a great spectacle and a win could kickstart the season. If Koff scores first, it'll be a game. Good game. That's yes. So I'll just read out in fair, all these Boro fans coming in peace. Hi, fans, I've seen your channel before. We are looking forward to coming down tomorrow after a great performance at Sheffield. Obviously, it's a huge game, but promotion won't be decided on Monday.
No, I agree. Absolutely, 100%. Nothing will be decided on Monday, and nothing gets decided in February. It's who's top in April, May is a time when the medals are given out, if you like.
I think there's a fair few of us on both sides who'd quite like it to be Coventry and Middlesbrough to go up. I think there's a lot of fans on both sides, and obviously we both want the title. But I think equally, if we both went up as automatics, I think that there's a lot of out there, isn't there? I think because like Claudia said earlier, we've both been teams that have been pushing around that top six for a few seasons now, doing it the right way as well, not like parachute payments and stuff. And so it'd be nice to see that being the type of teams that go up this season. So yeah.
So Liam Moss says, I see you're on tomorrow after the game. Don't leave poor Claudio holding the baby on his own again.
Well, I should be still at the ground, so I don't know who's coming on tomorrow. Who's coming on tomorrow, Claudio?
It could be Jack holding the baby.
Bit young to be left with the baby, isn't he?
So Andrew Gray says Strachan was unlucky losing Keenan McAllister, but people tend to forget what a huge miss Steve Froggatt was that season too. And no Oggy there either. No coincidence he retired and we went down. But he was out of the team for a while. Alan is the key, says Dave Sports. And Paul Stratton says, just think what would have happened with the abundance of top talent we had then if we'd had the top manager in charge.
Yeah.
Yes. You never know, do you? Mark Raymond, bringing Lloyd back. I'd have John Eustace in midfield, just the reducer he put in on Roy Keane 30 seconds in the game against Man United at Highfield Road.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
We need a reducer tomorrow night. I love the comedy, Claudio. I love the comedy, Claudio. Was there a City Unseen this week? Ken, I haven't seen one. Oh, dear. We've got something writing in German now. I have to get my wife up here to read that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There you go. I think they're saying that our team is
fantastic.
No, the opposite. Middlesbrough are way too good at the moment. Worst time to them touch yourself down after you get beat. Yeah, so they're all getting cocky now.
Well, they are playing good. There's no doubt about it. But they're playing exactly as we were playing early in the season. So, we can easily go back to where we were playing when we played you early in the season when we won 4-2. So,
Also, isn't it the case they haven't kept a clean sheet away from home since about October or something? So there's so no matter how well they play, and they're still not keeping clean sheets away from home. So that gives us And
I keep saying that. I also you need a little bit of luck, don't you, in football sometimes? And if you get a little bit of luck in the game, things might go our way. We might even get a penalty. You never know. And and you get the run of the ball, maybe the ball going in off the bar, off the post, or something. Anything can happen.
You're right, Claudio. I've stopped listening to the second tier. City will win tomorrow. Let's not worry about Boro. Let them worry about us, the wounded animal, says Dave Jones. Craig Robinson from Sky Blue Fans Forum. According to Middlesbrough local press, the ref for our game tomorrow is a Sunderland fan.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's us both then.
God.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? That's lots of Boro fans on here tonight. I'm glad you could join us.
Yeah.
And this is just random. Sack Tottenham manager. And talk about Nottingham Forest here. They've just took on a guy who couldn't win any games as a manager.
Well, what a bizarre decision to get rid of Sean Dyche. If there's any man to get you out of the trouble you're in at the bottom, it's Sean Dyche, isn't it? Well, why would you get him out? I thought he did a fantastic job so far with Forest. It's just a crazy chairman, that guy, isn't he?
Well, he did a Doug King with Mark Robbins, didn't he? He just had enough and decided on the night, right, I'm sacking him. Basically.
Fourth manager this season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bonkers. Mark Rainbow, nothing gets decided in Feb. Can't Sheffield Wednesday get relegated this weekend? They can actually.
Yeah, I mean, at the bottom, yeah, obviously it can if you're that bad.
Well, it's only because of the points deduction, isn't it?
Yeah, they're going through a bad patch at the moment, Sheffield Wednesday. So hopefully they'll come back bigger and better, I'm sure, in the years to come.
I'm just glad. Sorry, go on, Vicky.
Because that's something we haven't mentioned, though, isn't it? That Leicester managed to not play this weekend and drop into the bottom three, having got knocked out of the cups. That's been a disaster all around for them, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it was great. And then with Sheffield Wednesday, I'm just glad we beat them at the start of the season at their place because they still haven't won at home. So yeah,
we've got to play them again, haven't we, at home? So in a few weeks' time. So
right, I've caught up with the comments.
Okay, I'm just going to catch up with the little bits and bobs that we've got to go through. Vicky, this is going ahead now. A different date, isn't it? It's going ahead this run, the Millwall from Millwall to the CBS.
Yeah, I need to check actually if it's still going to be from. I'm assuming it's still going to be from Millwall, even though obviously that won't be the game. But yeah, and the shirt's obviously still down the rules guide for people to enter the raffle. That's till the end of the month.
Yeah.
So
if you want to donate,
the
Walsgrave pub have got it hanging up behind the bar. I have seen it. You can go and donate behind the bar. I think you can, or go to the website. They've got a website and.
Yeah, the link's on our socials. If people want to have a look, the link's on our socials.
Yeah, it's a fantastic charity. So make sure you go down and if you want to bid for that shirt, it's well worth it. Also, I'm just going to mention Claudio, the latest.
Oh yeah, well that's the latest one.
Yeah.
But on Tuesday, Darren Huckabee.
Hooks.
So that'll be that's the next one. Darren Huckabee with me and Jim Brown.
That'd be interesting.
Darren Huckabee is the only name I've ever had on the back of I've only ever once had a player's name on the back of my shirt, and it was Huckabee. That's the only one I've ever had.
So he's coming on, and we're gonna. Well, I've told him what we're doing. We're gonna have a brief chat about tomorrow's game, and then we're going to talk about Darren's career. What we try and do is try and do it so it's either side of when they're at Coventry, because that's more relevant, really.
Yeah.
When they come and when they go,
and also the history and heritage Coventry City Football Club is archived back, isn't it?
Yeah. And then there was that many people trying to get on it the first 48 hours. It crashed, so they had to reboot it. So that's good. That's good and bad, isn't it? Because they didn't realise what was going to happen, and so I'm not sure what's happened with it yet. But it should. I think it's up and running now.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. It'd be interesting to get on there and have a look. Also, just a couple of things for Miles. He's got a quiz night at the Black Swan, 24th of Feb, and he's got one at the 25th of Feb, next day. Very busy man. At the the Duke in Leamington Spa. So if you want to go and see Milesy, quiz night, very good night. Got play cards right and all that sort of stuff. He'll be down there. Also, there's the book we had him on earlier. He's a fantastic guest. You can win it. We've got a copy here. Here it is, signed. I'll get it in the post to you. We've got a competition at the moment. We've got quite a few correct answers, haven't we, Vicky? Yeah?
Yeah, I think we're ready to do the competition and wrap it up, I think.
Yeah, we can do the... How many correct ones we got, Vic? Can't hear you because your mic's off. You're muted.
I was just trying to quickly type them onto. I was trying to type them onto a wheel, so I put myself on mute, so you wouldn't hear me typing away. And then you started chatting to me. I was like,
I didn't realise.
We've got. Sorry, and I couldn't find the button. Sorry. We've got about 18. I'm just quickly typing them onto the wheel. Just give me a minute, and so you two chat, and I'll be.
Okay. Yeah,
we don't want to get accused again of stopping you talking.
No, because we get told off otherwise.
We just decided that Vicky, and I'm not being a misogynist here, she's got the clerical skills to quickly do it quickly, basically. Whereas me and Ken we've got 10 digits that all look like thumbs. So.
Got very fat fingers. Very fat fingers.
Very fat fingers. This is Mark PUSB says, I heard Kleenex tissues are sponsoring the game tomorrow, giving them out free for when Boro fans start crying after losing to the mighty Sky Blues. Is Jim looking for volunteers for the History Web? I think he may still be, Mark, actually. It's worth dropping an email. And also, if there's any items that you don't want anymore or you want to donate.
You've got quite a few. You've got quite a few shirts you can donate, Claudia, behind you.
Well, yeah, but they're already belong to the archive. I just haven't handed them back yet. The 3 goalie shirts.
All right.
They're registered charity as well, so donations. And basically, it just goes to fund the whole thing.
Yeah.
The people involved have just done it voluntarily. They're paying with their time, and that's about it. They're not getting paid to do it. So if there's any help, fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I'm fan of Vicky's.
So
what's your prediction then, Ken? What is your prediction?
My prediction was plenty of goals, and I'll go for Sky Blue victory by 3 goals to 2.
3 goals to 2.
Yeah. How about you?
Nervous game.
You're going to say a draw. I know you are. The way you just.
Well, yeah, because I just don't think, and it's mentioned before, it's very hard to go from down here to up there in one game when you're playing against a team who's doing really well.
Yes.
You see, so I don't think that can happen unless they find some kind of performance from nowhere tomorrow. So
they've got the ability to do, haven't they?
Yeah, they're on a run. They're on a rich vein of form, aren't they? But they're not going to throw caution to the wind, regardless of them thinking if we win, we're going to be 5 points clear. They won't want to lose either because it still keeps them 2 points in front with 2 home games coming up.
Yeah.
Whereas we've got 2 away games. So a draw for them would be an excellent result. And the current climate, we need to win really to get our noses in front because we've got 2 away fixtures after that.
Yeah.
I think the next home game is Oxford, isn't it? At home, I think.
Yeah.
So as much as I want us to win, I think it could be a high-scoring draw. So I'm going to go for a 2-2. A night of frustration, a night where we think we're about to win it, and something crazy happens at the end or something.
High drama and frustration.
Yeah. So I'm going for a 2-2 draw. And then,
I'm going for just one more. I'm going to go for 3-2. I think we just pinch it last minute. Hadji header, believe it or not.
Vicky, what's your prediction?
I'm going to say we're going to nick it 2-1. I think it'll be 2-1.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be looking down when that second goal goes in. See where you think of it. I'll be not sit too far away from you, Vic. So I should be up celebrating with you. So
a Sims double, I reckon. Sims double.
Oh, Sims double. You never know. What could happen? And of course, I keep saying it, and I'll say it all the time. You need a little bit of luck on the night. You need things to go your way. You need decisions to go your way. You need to stay clear of any injuries, and you need to have a decent referee. Let's hope we've got a decent referee who lets the game flow, and gives out the cards accordingly. To
be honest, Ken, I reckon a really bad one would be good actually, and keeps blowing up every 2 seconds. We'll kick the ball off the pitch. If the ball's on the pitch, they're not going to score, are they? Use my old hockey tactic of just keeping it off the pitch.
It'd be a full house again, so and it's great. Under the lights, it's always a better atmosphere under the lights. Night matches are always slightly different, aren't they? You get a bit of.
I think we need to do what we did for the Sheffield United game or some of the other night games where we build up a bit of atmosphere before the game. everyone get in there early just to build the atmosphere up and not dribs and drabs. I think being an 8 o'clock kickoff gives it a little bit extra to get there, which I think is better 8 o'clock, especially for me, because I struggle to get there for 7:45. You know, so it's I'll be
want fireworks on the pitch as well as off it.
Yeah, and whatever happens, we'll be fine. Is what I'm saying.
I'm sure we will. Yeah. Okay, Vicky, managed to get all the correct answers.
They're all ready now. Yeah, so I've got them on a wheel.
The question was, how many clean sheets did Chris Kirkland have for Coventry City? The answer was, Claudio?
8.
8, yes. 8 in 28 games. So there you go. Okay.
Right, ready for me to clip? Yeah.
Yeah. Spin that wheel, then see who's winning this book. Oh, Mick Rogers. Congratulations, Mick. If you pop us an email with your the red dress is going on the bottom of the screen, pop us an email with your details on, and we'll get that. What
a week Mick Rogers having. One minute he's got Sonny's face superimposed on his face, and now he's won a mug.
No, he's won a book. He's won a book, Claudio.
He's won a book. It's even better.
It's a book, sorry, he's won the book, yeah.
He's won a signed book. So congratulations, Mick. Yeah, get your details in an email to us, and I'll get that in the post to you. I might even deliver it personally if you live local. You never know. So there you go.
Lucky man.
If you live local, you know he lives local.
I don't know where he lives. What is it?
He definitely lives local.
Well, I'll say local, within sort of Coventry area, not too far.
Well, he is Coventry, isn't he? You're funny.
Well, Coventry's a big city. And anyway, look, we've got the winner. Mick will get his details to us, and we'll get that to you straight away. That's it then, isn't it? We're going to wind it up. Thanks very much for coming on, Claudio. Appreciate it. You're back tomorrow night after the after show, aren't you? The after show.
Well, if I get back in time, I'll be hopefully on it.
The late night after show, yes. Hopefully we'll have somebody with you. I won't, because I'll be still waiting probably for the man of the match, which hopefully we'll have a man of the match because we'll play quite well, and up in the lounges, so I won't get a stadium too late. Vicky, you're looking forward to it tomorrow? You really are, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I like an evening game, like under the lights.
Yeah.
I think actually playing Boro on a Monday night has worked out quite well in the end. I think like really build up some atmosphere. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we're all looking forward to it. Boro are in town, and hopefully we'll cut them down to size and get our
calm down, Ken.
And get our rightful place back at the top of the league. Get it back off and get, where we belong.
It's the game of the season. It's the game of the season, the fixture of the season so far, isn't it?
Well, it is, no doubt about it. Yeah, and the press are building it up as well. Notice, so I think it's live on not live on Sky. I think it's live on TalkSport and 5 Live. I think so. I think they're all at it tomorrow. So the press box will be packed, and the ground will be packed. 30,000 odd. Be a sellout. So we're getting your seat early for the fireworks on the pitch and off it, and hopefully the Sky Blues can do the business. Thanks very much, Vicky, for coming on as well, and thanks for Chris and for coming on. It was fantastic to have that guest on, who's a great insight into his career. And don't forget, his book is on sale in all good bookshops. Price £20. And congratulations to the winner of the book, which was Vicky. Who was it again?
Mick Rogers.
one of the Mad Hatters, the original one.
Yes, thank you very much, Claudia.
Who now looks like Sonny on that poster.
Anyway, that's it. Look, we're going to go. Time's caught up on us, and we've all got to go to work tomorrow morning. So, but we're looking forward to the match, massive match tomorrow. So let's get behind the Sky Blues. No booing, just cheering.
I better hit end stream, hadn't I? Play at Sky Blues.
Play at Sky Blues.
Sky Sky Blue Fans TV. For the fans, by the fans.